wellness.
NVIDIA planning to build AI supercomputers in Texas, investing up to $500 billion in AI production within the U.S.
This marks the first time that NVIDIA will be producing its cutting-edge AI technology entirely within the United States. According to Barron's, NVIDIA has commissioned over 1 million square feet of manufacturing space in Arizona and Texas to build and test its Blackwell chips and AI supercomputers. Over the next 4 years, the company plans to produce up to $500 billion worth of AI infrastructure in the United States. Tasha Stevens reporting.
A notorious paramilitary group fighting against the Sudanese military says it's forming a rival government and will rule parts of the country controlled by the group, including western Darfur. The northeastern African nation is now marking 2 years of a bloody civil war, unleashing what the UN says is the world's worst humanitarian crisis. News and analysis, townhall.com. Bookworms unite.
Residents of a small Michigan community stood side by side to help a local bookstore move 9,100 books, one by one, from its former site to a new location about a block away. Serendipity Books owner Michelle Tuplin says about 300 people volunteered to pass the books in a human chain through downtown Chelsea on Sunday. The Book Brigade's helpers lined both sides of the sidewalk, moving the books from the shelves at the old location directly to the correct shelves in the new bookstore building on Main Street. Tuplin said Tuesday that the endeavor took just under 2 hours, and they even put the books back in alphabetical order. Keith Peters, Washington.
There is word this morning of the death of Wink Martindale. If that name sounds familiar, it's no surprise. Over the years, he hosted TV game shows such as Gambit and Tic-Tac-Doe. Wink Martindale was 91. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy middle of the week, everybody.
Yes, sir. Wednesday.
Yeah.
Welcome to it.
Holding down food.
I was going to ask how you feeling.
Yeah, holding down food. That was good.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not ready to go tackle an eat-on marathon.
Yeah.
But, you know,
so you're saying the pie eating contest we were going to have this weekend is off?
Cancel that. Sorry.
Dang it. I called in my favorite bakers for this event.
But, yes, doing a little better today.
Good.
So.
Good stuff.
Of course, I saw it this morning, but then they mentioned it on the news here, so I figured the passing of one Wink Martindale.
Yeah, that was...
I didn't know he was still alive, to be honest.
Yeah. In fairness, you do find out a lot about that people were still alive when you find out that they died. You're like, wait, really?
But I will argue this. That man rocked the skinny microphone even better than I dare say Bob Barker.
Now, hold on.
Wink was the OG of the skinny mic.
It just sounded like you were saying, I'm lying. Wink.
No. Wink owned the skinny mic.
He did.
Bob Barker was a very good impression.
Here's what I think happened. Wink Martindale walked so that Bob Barker could run. I'm not taking away from Wink's skinny mic holding abilities.
Yes.
I'm just saying Bob perfected the height at which you hold said skinny mic, because you have a skinny mic, and if you remember, Wink was all over the place.
He was.
That thing was you could have taken somebody's eye out with that thing. Bob was always stoically middle of the chest. I almost feel like he lined up his thumb with a button. And did you ever notice they have like a handle at the bottom of that thing?
Yeah.
It's like the mic is skinny, but there's a handle.
And I think, I think he needed a skinny mic for protection because he got groped and hugged a lot. And
Yeah.
so I think the skinny mic was a buffer.
You're talking about Bob?
Yes.
Bob groped and hugged a lot.
Yeah, but he also received it. When some of them women come running down that aisle and about tackle his butt, yeah.
Oh, but in fairness, he was always presenting cheek. He whipped that cheek out to get kissed.
Yeah, I've seen some of them women. They were not stopping. they were going. They got tackling fuel. They were going They were going all water boy on it.
Let's see. So over the course of his career, he hosted. This is Wink Martindale. Tic Tac Doe.
Yeah, that was what I.
That was the big one.
I knew him for. I grew up watching him there.
High Rollers, Gambit, Debt, Trivial Pursuit, Headline Chasers, Bumper Stumpers, Second Honeymoon, Can You Top This? Jumble, Everybody's Talking, Boggle, the interactive game show, What's That Song? Instant Recall, Dream Girl of 67, How's Your Mother-in-Law? Words and Music, Pop-Up Culture, The New Tic-Tac-Doe, and Shuffle.
I missed the new Tic-Tac-Doe.
You missed out on that new Tic-Tac-Doe, man.
Did they have the dragons?
I want to say it was probably Snoop hosting it.
Oh, Wink was there.
Yeah.
Wink got the cred.
Snoop was just a co-host,
Do they? I think they should bring back the skinny mic.
It doesn't. I thought Drew still.
Does Drew rock the skinny mic? I haven't watched an
mic.
episode of Price is Right in 100 years, so I have no idea.
Let's see. Price is Right. Let's find a picture of him on set. Yeah, it's not quite the same skinny mic.
Yeah.
But it is.
Is that a modern or is that like because Drew's been doing it for a minute now?
Yeah, it's a modern version of a skinny mic. Okay. It's got a little more thickness at the bottom. It's girthier at the base.
Yeah.
But then it stems skinny.
Gotcha. Okay.
And fluffs out at the microphone.
I'd like to. I hope you look in real close and it's got like a Bob. It's the Bob Barker signature edition.
It's Bob
skinny
Barker
mic.
in gold. It's engraved. But yeah, that's crazy that he's been with us as long as he has. Honestly.
Yeah. In honor of Wink, go dig up YouTube. Go watch old Tic-Tac-Doe videos.
I used to
see if the dragon pops up for you.
And this is back when we had one of those. Do you remember the giant like EchoStar satellite dishes?
Mm-hmm.
We had one of those in our backyard. So it was.
We got one in the back of the radio station.
Yeah,
not here,
like
but in
that.
our station. Yeah.
But ours was in our backyard, so we got to watch like all these like feeds and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would watch.
I was so envious of people that had that.
It was so cool.
People living in the country.
Like you'd see like the newscaster before they get on the air, like all straight in their tie, picking their nose or whatever. But you could watch bumpers because this is how they got coming up on tonight's Larry King show or whatever.
This is before the internet was like available.
Right. Before that, you would jump onto the satellite feed. You would get the base of the commercial, and then you'd put your tag or your bug at the end. 4:30 tonight on KFOR, Fox TV 10. But you'd get the raw feeds of those. And so you'd see, I'd always, hi, this is Wink Martindale. Join me on the Game Show Network as we explore decades of game show history.
I'm pretty sure that's how the We'll Do It Live bit came to the ether. And Casey Kasem's Dead Dog dedication.
Yeah, a lot of those came from just from network feeds.
Or maybe even the Dollars one with the Jeopardy guy.
Alex Trebek?
Trebek, thank you. Yeah.
Did he have one?
Oh, there was one where and I think it's probably not this, but no, he was doing like commercials for like the Jeopardy games and all that stuff. And he kept saying dollars instead of dollars, and it was dollars, and he started cussing. It's just funny to listen to.
That's awesome. When things go off the rails, it's just amazing.
It is very good. But yes, rest in peace, Wink Martin. That was kind of as a nostalgic as a kid who watched Tic-Tac-Doe.
We're losing them like crazy lately because Bob Barker was the first of the big ones to go. Chuck Woolery, and then Chuck passed, right? I think he passed during COVID. I feel like that was the thing.
I think you're right.
And then Wink. I mean, who's left? Well, Drew, but he's the new blood.
Well, we still have Pat Sajak.
That's true. We do have Sajak
and Vanna White. Vanna's still working. Pat's retired, but Vanna's still working.
How? How in the world does she still look like that?
Good genes, I guess.
November 23rd of 2024 is when Chuck Woolery passed. I knew he passed. Okay.
Yeah.
I totally knew that was a thing. Yeah, that's astonishing to me. I mean, I know that, plastic surgery and Botox and all that, but it is...
I don't know if she's done a lot of that.
She does not look more than about 10 years older than when she started.
Good living and good genes, man. It's just one of those things. And quite frankly, she's arguably got the easiest job on the planet.
Yeah.
And has been doing it for years.
What's really...
And she doesn't have to really do it anymore. No. She just has to walk by the letter. Doesn't even have to light it up.
What's really funny, though, is...
And she's got the best gig on the planet. Everyone loves her. She has an easy job. I mean, really. And she can knock... Like her and Pat, they would make... Like, she makes millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And I think they work like 1 month a year.
Yeah, they tape all their shows.
Yeah, and they do it. And then the rest of the time, they get to goof off.
It's amazing to me that I'm guessing this was part of her contract.
Yeah.
That at some point when she signed her new contract back in the 90s, they made her job easier.
Yeah.
Because she went from having to turn letters to just having to touch them.
I don't even know if she has to touch them anymore, right?
I haven't watched.
I think she just walks by it. I don't know, but
I feel like at this point she should at least have to. I mean, come on, lift your arm.
Well, maybe it's a tall one.
Earn your keep.
I can't get to the top of the phrase there, but I mean, God bless her. She's hit the lottery jackpot. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming her personal life with her husband and everything's great, but I mean, she's set the table where she works because she wants to and is barely working. And it's crazy. I mean,
I'm curious how much she's worth. And these are never accurate.
Well, she didn't get Pat Sajak money, but she got money.
But she
got money.
Vanna White, according to Parade.com, is worth $85 million.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for turning letters.
That's not a
even
bad gig
letters.
In life.
Yeah. So you know what? For $85 million, I can keep myself together for that long. I can hit the gym and everything else for $85 million.
Oh yeah, $85 million. I'd avoid vices.
I can hire a guy to teach me what to eat. Everything. Put this to eat this. All right, which just like NFL players do. I can do that.
Choke it down.
Yeah, I look good turning letters. I look svelte.
I'm not here for good time. I'm here to look good.
And turn letters. And I'm all out of letters.
And I'm all out of letters. I'm here to chew gum and turn letters.
And I'm all out of
gum.
All right, let's get the rundown of the show going here. We had a great interview yesterday with Pastor Troy and Sean from Church on the Move, inviting everybody out to their big Easter celebration out at Cielo Grande Park this Easter Sunday. And so we're going to play that for you here in just a few. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to play our interview with the Chaves County Federated Republican Women. They joined us early in the week to talk about today, their monthly meeting, which is today out at the Elks Lodge there. So we're going to play that interview for you, remind folks, invite you to come on out for that. And then Peggy Boland going to talk Camp Convention with us in the 9 o'clock hour today. Plus, we'll have all of your newses of the local, national, variety, Wall Street business updates, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. But first, a look at your weather. Going to get warmer now. And then we got rain and all that, maybe, sort of. We'll see.
Weather this hour brought to you by Southwest Bearing under new ownership. Custom solutions for your heavy equipment. Hydraulic hoses, hose repair, bearings, seals, sprockets, belts, tools, fluids, and fittings.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today. We're headed for the low 90s. We have low pressure developing over in the Great Basin, and that'll be bringing us gusty wind in the next couple of days. Overnight will be clear, pretty breezy, low in the mid to upper 50s, and then we get really gusty conditions on Thursday. Wind up to 40 miles an hour. It will stay pretty hot, too. Our afternoon high in the low 90s and sunny. Little cooler and breezy on Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 51 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 69%. Winds are calm at the moment. Today, sunny, 92. South winds 5 to 10 this morning, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. Tonight, the winds pick up. Mostly clear. Overnight low of 55. Southwest winds 15 to 20. Gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. We will see the winds drop down 10 to 15 after midnight. But tomorrow it gets dusty and warm, areas of blowing dust. In fact, they have already issued a fire weather watch for Thursday to kick in at 7 a.m. through 9 p.m. Expect those areas of blowing dust for the afternoon, and a high of 96. Southwest winds 5 to 15 early, increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour by Thursday afternoon. Patchy blowing dust continues into the Thursday evening hours till about 7 p.m. Partly cloudy with an overnight low of 58. Winds out of the southwest 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. Winds will drop down 10 to 20 after midnight. Winds continue on Friday, a little cooler, sunny and 84. Winds out of the southwest 10 to 20 early, increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. Friday night, clear, overnight low of 47. Saturday, there is a 20% chance of showers, high of 72, so a little cooler as well. Sunny, and then sunny and 76 on Sunday. So hot and windy for the next couple days, and brings in a little bit cooler temps for the weekend. All right, 7:19, we're going to take a 3.5-minute break. Then we're going to play our interview with Pastors Troy and Sean from Church on the Move. Don't go away.
Tee up for the 3rd annual Roswell Honda Charity Golf Tournament, Saturday and Sunday, April 26th and 27th at Spring River Golf Course in Roswell, with a double shotgun start at 7:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. both Saturday and Sunday. Prizes for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place, as well as longest drive closest to the pin, and a Honda Civic driver and putter with a hole-in-one, plus free breakfast and lunch each day and free beer. Don't forget about the Trans-Aero helicopter golf ball drop at 9 a.m. on Sunday. Proceeds this year to benefit the VFW of Roswell, providing support and resources to our local veterans of foreign wars. Sign your team up at RoswellHonda.com or find Roswell Honda Charity Golf Tournament on Facebook to learn more. The 3rd annual Roswell Honda Charity Golf Tournament, Saturday and Sunday, April 26th and 27th at the Spring River Golf Course in Roswell. Sponsored by Pepsi, Southwest Printers, Pecos Valley Broadcasting, Albertsons, Trans-Aero Medevac, ABC Distributors, and Roswell Honda. Together we play for a purpose. Together we make a difference.
In a medical emergency, every second counts. Artesia General Hospital's emergency department is open 24/7, staffed with highly trained professionals ready to provide life-saving care when you need it most. Don't wait. When minutes matter, trust Artesia General Hospital. Quality emergency care close to home. Learn more at artesiageneral.com.
When the power goes out, Central Valley Electric Cooperative linemen respond, no matter the time of day or night or weather conditions. They always show up to get the lights back on. The next time you flip a switch, take a moment to remember those who make it possible, the linemen who ensure we have reliable electricity. CVE would like to thank all linemen for their courage and commitment to powering our communities, not just on Lineman Appreciation Day, but every day.
The Roswell Symphony Orchestra presents Kinderman Plays Beethoven, Saturday, May 3rd, 7:30 p.m. at Pearson Auditorium in Roswell. William Kinderman returns to Roswell to perform Beethoven's Piano Concerto No. 5, Emperor, along with works by Weber, Dvorak, and Richard Strauss. Tickets are on sale now and are available at roswellsymphony.org or by calling 575-623-5882. Kinderman Plays Beethoven, Saturday, May 3rd, 7:30 p.m. at Pearson Auditorium in Roswell, paid in part by the City of Roswell Lodgers Tax.
Picture this. You're behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor. You're effortlessly breaking ground, moving piles of rocks just by moving a lever, and enjoying the sun as you clear brush across your pasture. We could keep trying to put you in the moment, but to really understand what this feels like, you just have to get in the seat.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details, 2nd and Sycamore, and 1309 Southeast Main.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Astronauts are not allowed to eat beans before they go into space because passing wind in a spacesuit damages them. The suits for the astronauts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from Church on the Move, Pastors Troy Smotherman and Sean Kelly back with us. Good morning, gentlemen. And,
good morning, Mike.
First thing before, I know we had a lot of fun stuff to talk about, but first time I've got to really talk with you, and condolences to you and your family on your loss. And I know you have a great church family and family supporting and everything else, but it's never enough to thank you. But we do anything we can do. Prayers. I mean, obviously prayers can. You hear that so much, but we're praying for you. Thank you. I believe it's pretty good stuff, even though people say it a lot. I believe it's ain't nothing wrong with some prayers.
Prayers powerful.
Right. But life goes on. Things are happening, and Church on the Move is just keeps going, and now. Not that they needed more strength to keep going on, but now they've got more meaning to keep doing what we're doing here with this family loss. So, which I'm going to say is going to make Easter Sunday that much more special, because we want basically it's a community celebration what you guys are doing. We want to invite everybody to come on out to Cielo Grande on Sunday and have the biggest celebration for Christians. That's what it is. Easter is it. It's the big party for Christians. It is. Where we go.
Absolutely.
And what makes Friday so tough is what makes Sunday so great. If that makes sense. And,
it does.
And so we want folks to come on out and celebrate Christianity with Sunday. That's what it is. It's a party.
That's right.
So talk about what's on tap for everybody here.
Well, we're having just one service. We usually have 3 services at our church. We're having one service at Cielo.
But it's going to be the size of 3.
Okay, it'll be the size of 3. Hopefully bigger, because we want people to come out in the community. Now, we are doing some things after service because we're going to worship God. We're going to worship our Lord and Savior. We're going to show our thanks and admiration and praise. Excuse me, for what He's done for us. Dying for us on. You talked about Friday. Good Friday.
Absolutely.
Raising from the dead on Sunday. And so we're going to talk about that, celebrate that, and worship and honor Him. We have a very special guest, Danny Goki, coming in.
You might, if you're a fan of American Idol, or he is a Grammy Award-winning Grammy-nominated Dove Award-winning. He's kind of a big deal in music. So if I'm sure many people, especially younger folks, us old times, we miss people that are popular sometimes, but younger folks don't. And Danny Goki's so he's gonna be at Cielo Grande, worshiping and celebrating and praising just like the rest of us.
And so after service, we're going to do water baptisms. And so we got a bunch of people being water baptized for the first time.
Still sign up for that?
Oh,
I know if you go to church website, I always just Google Church on the Move, but I think it's COTMRoswell.com is if you want to do the official. But if you don't remember all that, just Church on the Move Roswell, it'll be the first thing that pops up. And then you'll see the events tab, and then it'll tell you all about Easter. But at the bottom there's a link if you'd like to be baptized on Sunday out at Cielo Grande.
That's right.
Think of a better day to be baptized on Easter.
And if you don't get a chance to sign up, just come on out. Bring a pair of dark clothes to change into.
Yes.
Be prepared
That's
to get wet.
That's how baptisms work.
That's exactly right.
We'll have a tent set up for people to change back, after they're baptized and that type of thing. And so,
private changing areas.
Yes.
And the good news is the weather should be nice on Sunday. I think it's going to be upper 70s and pushing 80s.
It's going to be beautiful.
So
Looks like it's going to be pretty one.
Should be a nice time to be out at Cielo Grande and celebrate. 10 a.m. is when everything will officially get underway. You might want to get there a few minutes early to get settled and get you a good spot, because Cielo Grande is kind of a big park. Going to be some acreage to cover. So
and bring your own lawn chairs. Bring your chairs.
Yeah, there's a lot of open space, but not a lot of seating. So bring your lawn chairs, your blankets, or your things to kind of get comfortable out there.
Yes,
I know people are going to be setting up tents on the peripheral, on the sides, and bringing umbrellas to keep the sun off of them.
Yeah.
So bring your shade. You can set up on the sides. We have a middle section. It'll be easy to see. We have a big stage set up. That's where we're going to do our service.
Good deal.
And then after that, man, we have, I don't know how many blow-up games and water slides and surfing machines and
just a big carnival. Basically.
20 plus, yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
We're gonna worship the King, the risen King, and then we're going to baptize people, and then we're going to celebrate big time with our
family
children
fun and family gathering.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to serve hamburgers, hot dogs. Everything's free. You know,
it's kind of a entire Easter celebration all wrapped up in one deal out of the park here, where, you know, we start with the business end of the day and do our work to praise God and to celebrate God. And then from there, we celebrate the reason for this day. It's the biggest day. I know Christmas and everything gets a lot more attention in the corporate world and the just society. But if you're a Christian, this is the Super Bowl, man. This is the Super Bowl. This is the biggest thing. This is the whole reason we are who we are and what we believe is because of what happened, you know, on Easter Sunday. You know, when no one believed us, said this man will be back. 3 days later.
3 days.
Here, hello.
There he is.
Somebody left the building.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, that's amazing. And
that's incredible.
And that's what we're celebrating, and that's what it is. And it is the proof. It is literally the proof of what God says to us is what Easter Sunday is. And
yes.
That's why we celebrate it. When everyone says, "How do you have faith?" Because Easter Sunday. Because the proof was that day.
That's
right.
Exactly.
I have faith. And so that's what we're celebrating.
That's our faith is based on him rising from the dead.
You know, I kind of obviously studying the Word of God and always, you know, these are lifelong pursuits.
Yes.
You don't have to know all this to be a child of God, but you got to have the gist. You got to know the understanding of why, and this is why. I mean, when we get in some biblical stories and you start going, all right, you don't have to get down in the weeds with some of all that. I mean, that might make your head swim here. But if you can understand, you know, Jesus died for our sins, that you know, the reason we have, you know, we are Christians is because of this fact that God is basically gave us all this pass, that all we got to do is say, believe in this person and you're going to be all right. No matter what you do, what you say, at the end of the day, no matter what you do or say, as long as you have faith and you show that faith, you're going to be all right. You get to make all the mistakes you want. Matter of fact, it's going to happen. You're going to make some doozies that even, you know, at the end of the day, certain things won't be able to walk back from. But you know what? God's got that.
Well, even you brought up the passing of my wife, which was, you know, we had an incredible marriage and friendship and love for each other, my family.
You guys spent a lifetime sharing your experiences to help others.
Yes, but the comfort of that is what we're talking about right now, is that Jesus did die for our sins. He did raise from the grave, and he defeated sin and eternal death for us.
Sure.
And knowing that my wife is with him in heaven is really the only comfort that I have, because I miss her so much.
Yeah, I'm sure. And this is where faith helps, because I get it. It's like, God, what are you doing, man? I need her still. I need, you know what I mean? And this is where faith comes in. It's like, look, I don't understand it now. I will someday. And that's faith, and that's what it is. And God doesn't fix our problems. God, I believe, gives us the tools to tackle these problems. God's job is to steer us for when because things are going to happen. And these are, I believe, our time here on earth is tests and trials. Where, you know, this is, you know, if it was all easy, everybody would be guaranteed a slot into heaven here. But, you know, you got to earn your way in a little bit. And this is, and really it's easy. You just got to have faith. But you know, what happens when your faith is tested? And that's, and every single Christian on the planet, including yourself, a man that, you know, people turn to have that connection with God. All of us suffer from this. And so, first off, thank you for kind of, despite your own personal deal, just putting it all out there. You know what I mean? That's because it's not, I know it's not hard or not easy for you. This is, you know, this is probably the hardest thing you've ever dealt with in your entire life.
It is.
But the fact that you're doing it the way you're doing it, I know this sounds bad, but I mean this. I think this is part of God's plan too. Like, I think this is, and I think at the end of the day, this is what's going to help heal you for time, because time does heal. It does. You know, when you lose someone, you know, time does heal. It does make that, you know, pain lessen over time. It never goes away. for truly people you love, but it does. It's like for me, my mother. She's been gone, 20 plus years now, but still a day I don't think about her. But I don't miss her like I did 20 years ago, and that does change. But thank you. I know I'm getting rambling here, but I just really appreciate that you could have handled this a different way, and you would have been well within your rights to do that, and you kind of still wearing your heart on your sleeve. I think your church has embraced you. I think Church on the Move family's probably embraced you.
They have.
Like
been wonderful.
No other imaginable here, and that's a good thing. But and it's okay for you to lean on people too, and don't forget that part. I think I know you enough to know you're a little bullheaded like me, and if you get your mind set to something, and people tell you no, that just fuels you to hold my beer. I'm going to watch this.
Wow. Watch this part, not the beer part.
Not anymore. You know what I mean. And so, as someone who knows that, lean to. It's
well, they've been a blessing, and I just know that Julie and I, since she was 5 years old and me at 18, we dedicated our lives to serve the Lord, and I'm not going to stop doing that, despite whether I understand or not. I trust.
I think she'd been mad at you if you did, to be honest. When y'all meet again, she'd probably give you a swift boot to the behind and say, "What are you doing, man?"
Because that wasn't an option for me, Mike. We serve God, as much as I love my wife and the love affair we had. She wasn't God, and I wasn't God to her. We have a God and He's God alone, and that's who Julie and I served. Mm-hmm. That's what made our marriage special, because we kept Him first, and that allowed us to love each other the way we should and care for each other, and be friends and all the lovers and all the things that come with being married. But we serve the Lord, and that's who I serve, whether I understand it or not. I serve the Lord, and we're going to continue to do that, and that's why we're going to, I decided a while back that we're going to do a huge thing for Easter this year and just celebrate His resurrection and celebrate the life He gave us on this planet, but even more importantly, the life He gives us eternally. And we're not going to, life just keeps moving, it just keeps moving, and we're going to keep serving God and just believing that people that hear and that people invite others to come that don't know Jesus, mm-hmm. and that give them an opportunity to hear. Like you said, they need to hear. They need to believe that Jesus Christ is Lord. Believe in their heart and confess mm-hmm. with their mouth that Jesus is Lord. And the Bible teaches us that how can they believe if they don't hear? Mm-hmm. And how can they hear if someone's not sent? So we're sent to this, Julie and I were sent to this community 24 years ago, and we've been serving, and we're going to continue to serve, my family and I. And that's we're celebrating this as Christians, but we're also, the greatest celebration would be that day is that someone comes that doesn't know the Lord and comes to know the Lord.
This is the day they find the Lord.
Yes, and that's what He died for, mm-hmm. For all of us, and that would be the greatest celebration of the whole day.
But this is why I also think the after party stuff, the games, that's why that's so important, because we're also teaching our young. There's going to be children, 2, 3, whatever age they are. This is going to be the memories they think of when they think of Easter. They think of what it means, and they're gonna. So to me, the fun cements the deal for our young. Because it's no different than us. How many of us, when we were kids, you remember the Easter play or the Christmas play or the thing you did at church? That's your connection to Easter, to God, and things like that. And so we're creating that on Sunday, and that's what. So please. Let come for the service, but please, and for the concert and everything else, but let the family come and have a picnic, and let's eat some burgers, and let's the kids play all the games and do all this stuff, because at the end of the day, that's going to be the fun part. Remember, it puts the positive, it reinforces the message to your kids. Yes,
absolutely.
They're going to remember the jumps and in the water, the surfing deals and all that, but that's going to cement the rest of it for later on, and because as they get older and start to question and think for themselves, they're going to go back to those messages and those things, and that hopefully that's the foundation they've created. So when they're ready to do more than the jolly jumps and everything else, they're ready to get deeper into the message.
And we are asking people to come to the service. So if you come to the 10 a.m. service, you're going to get a band. And that's how you're going to be able to participate in all the other things after service.
So your key to the rest is to be there at 10.
That's exactly right. And the rest of the day does not cost you a penny.
Yeah.
It's all free.
And I guarantee you're going to come out better than, especially if you are questioning faith or maybe not introduced to it. Maybe you're raised without religion in your life. That does happen to quite a few people.
It does.
Come to us on Sunday. Come on out. Come for the burgers.
See what it's about.
Yeah, come for
See
a
why
free
we
meal.
celebrate.
But yeah, be there at 10, and I guarantee once you understand and once you see, and it's one thing to read things and learn it on your own, but when you have someone to help you talk about it and navigate it, because I know reading about things is amazing, but sometimes people it doesn't register that way.
Yeah.
So when you're amongst people that are talking, you're not only hearing the message, you're feeling it here. What is the emotion that it comes from, and even the best of authors can't create that in words.
And you don't have to come all dressed up. You don't have to wear a suit and tie.
Oh yeah,
you want to come in shorts, but that's great with us. Matter of fact,
pretty casual.
For the kids, we would like them to bring some swim trunks.
Because they're going to get
the
wet.
fire department will be out there.
They have a foam pit. They have wet water slides, so they're going to get wet.
Put it this way: you're going to have to do laundry at the end of the day, probably for the kids. Just take it. But guess what? They're going to be ready to go to bed by 7:30.
They'll sleep good. They will sleep good.
Because we're going to feed them well, and then we're going to load them up. You don't leave a Church on the Move event with a few eggs or a few pieces of candy.
You're going. You guys go.
You're
going to
leave cracked out on candy.
Yeah. So from 6th grade down, we have Easter egg hunt. So that's for all the from 6th graders down. We have separate ones separated out for the little guys, and then the middle group, and then the older kids. And there's some good pride. There's not just candy in there, but there's we always put a little cash in some of those
money.
eggs.
Yeah.
There's a golden ticket you can possibly win, a bigger prize at the end. And so we have several golden tickets in each one. So anyway, we try to make it, you said it, Mike, special. My memories of Easter as a child were dry, and I rejected religion because it was so dry and so sober. And there's a time to be sober, but there's never a time to be dry. Even when
not
you're
when
sober.
It's supposed to be a party.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's not when it's supposed to be celebration.
Friday's kind of our sober day a little bit. When you think of Good Friday, that's
the death of
the day we
Jesus.
remember. I got to be honest. That movie, The Passion of the Christ, is one of the. I mean, it's
wore me out.
It's I've only seen it once because that's about the much. But if you've never seen it. You got to see it once as a Christian. Don't show it to your kids. Wait till they're adults. It's not appropriate for kids.
I tried to show that to my daughter, and she started crying so hard. I had to stop it, and I had to comfort her.
Yeah.
And so I said, "Okay, I'm never doing that again."
It's just too proud because it's hard to fathom.
I think teenagers could handle it.
But then again, I think as a Christian, you need to see it because you've got to understand the scope of what Jesus went through. And to my personal experience, there's nothing else that has evoked that same. I mean, we talked about it, and but to see what they put on film in that thing, and to be honest, I would dare say they may have held back a few punches on what Jesus actually.
Well, the Bible says he was unrecognizable as a man on the cross.
Yeah.
So as bad as they showed it, it's worse.
Exactly.
Than that.
That's what I'm saying. And
you realize, Mike, that came out almost 20 years ago.
I know.
But and so there's a whole generation. There's a whole generation that hasn't seen it.
Well,
if you know younger people, sit them down and watch it with them.
Wait till they're adults, or at least appropriately mature
18,
enough.
19, 17, 16.
Where you can, but because it's graphic. There's nothing no other term but say that.
Truth.
But it's the truth. It is, and the truth hurts sometimes. And for all the beautiful, wonderful things that is Christianity. You got to go through trial and test to get to this is life. This is why we have hard things, why we have trials and tribulations, because at the end of the day, it makes the goal, the prize at the end of the thing that much sweeter. That makes you a better. And this is why they say, even though you go through tragedy, learning from it and everything else makes you a better person. Because when the next thing happens in life, you're better equipped. You're closer to God to handle those things, and that's part of why we do it. I mean, so this is it. This is what Easter is. It's showing you the whole gamut. the absolute darkest days of Christianity and the absolute highest days in Christianity, all in the span of 3 days.
That's right.
That's why it's, every Christian needs to know it. The hardest part and the best part. And to appreciate the best part, you got to know the hard part. And that's why we do it. But that being said, don't show your 3-year-old or 4-year-old or 6-year-old kids passion.
No, don't show them.
Wait till they're
that.
17, 18 or more mature level of understanding what's going on.
Because
that being said, do it.
I think my daughter was 11, somewhere in there, and I didn't realize that she couldn't take it until she started even watching.
Well, it's hard to predict.
She didn't even see the whole thing. I stopped it.
Yeah, well, and it's because it's different. It's not. This ain't Jason Gorefest. This ain't Friday the 13th. With that, you can watch that and you're like, oh, it's fake and everything. But this hits different because, well, first off, you got to really pay attention because none is in English. You got to read the screen, so you got to really pay attention because it's all in Aramaic and
I
other
think that's
languages.
part of it.
Yeah,
yeah.
And so it just makes you that much more engaged. And then when you're sitting there, it's like, and then you're thinking this happened. This, like, at the end of the day, you're watching Friday the 13th. This is fantasy. This isn't real. There's no guy with a hockey mask running around like Camp Lake. That's not happening.
I've never seen that. So.
That sums it up. There's about 40 of them, but that sums it up.
You know what? I take that back. When I was very, very young, I watched one. After that, I never watched another one.
Yeah. I remember, they scared me as a kid. I should not have watched it.
Yeah, me either. I looked in my back seat.
We were
for
Gen
about
X latchkey
2 months.
kids. They kind of. We were Gen X latchkey kids. They pretty much turned us to our own devices.
Yeah.
So we're watching Friday the 13th at 7 years old. But anyway, this isn't that. And then when you hit it, and it's like, this is truth. This happened, and then you're like, golly, this is really what it was like. And it just hits so different. And no disrespect to the 10 Commandments in these movies, but they don't evoke the same feeling.
Well,
afterwards.
all of that pointed to that.
Yeah,
man. To him dying for our sins, and then doing something that no one else ever did.
We can still show 10 Commandments Sunday night on family TV.
Sure.
Passion should never be in that position. Never. Not to do it right.
And I recommend the Charlton Heston 10 Commandments because the rest of this stuff they've been doing recently is
there even newer ones? I'll be honest.
They're janky, man.
They just showed the Charlton Heston one last Sunday.
Yeah. Great. That's more biblically accurate than most of the other ones.
Well, I was a little bummed because I was like, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to show this on Easter? That was the tradition. I mean, I'm not complaining, but because they're showing it at least, that's more than what we've seen a lot of today.
True.
But I was kind of like, it's not Easter yet. This is 2 weeks before Easter.
Maybe the Passions replace that. Maybe you'll see the Passion pop up here in the next few days.
It's after 10. Replace Kimball with that one. But you want the real celebration? Come on, join us at Cahoon Park here. Not Cahoon Park, Cielo Grande Park.
Cielo Grande.
Bigger park, Cielo Grande Park here this Sunday, beginning at 10 a.m. That's when you got to be there at 10 for the service.
It starts at 10.
To get in for the concert and the carnival and the food and all the celebration afterwards. So join us at 10. Come for an amazing service. Come celebrate the rising of Jesus. Easter Sunday, celebrating why we are all Christians. That's what we do.
And Danny's not going to do. He's going to sing. He's going to sing several songs, but he's going to preach.
Okay.
He's going to share the gospel.
So he's going to be doing as much testimony as. But
he is an outstanding minister.
But we all know why we come to see him. So he'll belt out a tune or two.
He's going to sing. There's no doubt about it.
And of course, and the cool part about it is, I'm going to take a stab that after you're going to sit and be able to talk to him. You can probably walk right up to him.
Well, his kids are coming, so he's going to be running around with his kids.
Okay, but usually guys like this, they're very approachable.
Yeah, Danny's very approachable.
So I'm guessing if you're a huge fan and want to get an autograph, I'm pretty sure don't be crazy about it, but I'm sure you can make that happen.
I'm sure Danny will do that. He's such a good guy.
A great guy.
Well,
become friends over the years.
Well, you kind of anybody that in his position that's hanging out in Roswell, New Mexico on Easter Sunday, where he could probably hit a bigger audience and make more money or whatever, in his world, and he's here, it says a lot to me. It says that, he's here because the message is more important than a paycheck. And because I'm pretty sure he could probably get paid very well for doing a gig on Sunday.
He could be a lot of
Easter
other places.
Could be.
Here in Roswell, hanging out at Cielo Grande with the rest of us. So that's pretty cool. So come on out. And then, of course, if you love what you saw on Sunday, come back, not to Cielo Grande, but come to Church on the Move the next Sunday, where we'll be back to normal 3 services. Whether you want to come early or sleep in a little bit and come a little later, they got you covered. And to be honest, if you're not wide awake yet, they can get you with coffee and everything before you'll be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed by the time to sit down and for service.
Absolutely.
Good deal. And
a little coffee goes a long way.
It does, but not too much, otherwise you're in another kind of line.
Exactly.
You got to find that sweet spot.
Yeah,
not to
it's
tip
gotta
it
be
over.
just right.
And the older we get, the more you find out that sweet spot's a little less and less.
Right?
But join us Easter Sunday out at Cielo Grande Park. Bring the entire family. Get there at 10 a.m. for services, and then stick around for the rest for the concert and praise and worship with Danny Goki, and of course the carnival and cookout and all the stuff that's going to be happening afterwards.
Did we miss anything?
Nope. Just a reminder, bring your chairs, bring your clothes.
Sunscreen and all that good stuff.
Yep. And we've got everything else you need for a fantastic day.
Absolutely.
Great
bring your
celebration.
Umbrellas or whatever you do for protect from sun, but be prepared to come out in the park. And as I was saying, I think it's going to be in the upper 70s on Sunday.
It's supposed to be
beautiful weather.
day.
Beautiful weather, and I think can't pick a nicer day to celebrate God.
That's right.
Good deal. Well, thank you guys.
Thanks,
thank you,
Mike.
Pastor. And anytime,
Thank you.
anything we can do to help you guys get the word out, please
Thanks,
reach out.
Mike.
And let
You
us
always do a
Thanks,
great
Mike.
job.
It was good to us.
And by the way, in case you guys never noticed, I don't know how many times I'll promote events and things. Like just this last weekend, they had the violence.
Stop gun violence. Yeah.
I wouldn't say celebration either, but it was kind of a get together, and of course, Church on the Move, quietly in the background, just helping out where they can, doing their thing. So we appreciate you guys doing stuff like that. You will see that more often than you don't realize. That yes, we do big events like this, and we want to put everybody's name on everything, but you don't know how many times there's just a thing that happens. Church on the Move quietly gets people. That's doing their thing, and we don't need to make a statement in the clouds about it. So we appreciate that kind of stuff.
Thank you, Mike.
I wanted to throw a thing out in the clouds about it because there's so much stuff that you guys do that goes unnoticed every day. So we appreciate that.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Appreciate
you, man.
All right, it is 9:49. Let's. I got to pay ads because I do like to eat lunch, and people are kind enough to give us money to play these things, so I should do that. So we're gonna play some commercials after news, and then we'll wrap up the show. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now, cases are in Eddy County. Chavez and Doña Ana each have one case. 2 Artesia men are facing serious criminal charges in Alaska following lengthy investigations by Alaska wildlife troopers into illegal hunting and residency violations spanning years, according to wildlife troopers in Anchor Point on the Kenai Peninsula. 38-year-old Franklin Keaton Waters and 41-year-old William A. Miller, both of Artesia, are accused of fraudulently obtaining Alaska resident hunting and fishing licenses while continuing to claim residency and receive benefits in New Mexico. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Let's head to Mississippi for this. Tiffany Grove walked out to her mailbox and found a surprise, a red box with a diamond ring inside. It looked real, said it was from Amazon Fulfillment, and came with a QR code for a warranty. I'm Kim Commando for Total AV, the award-winning antivirus software for just $19 a year right now at protectwithkim.com. Okay, back to Tiffany. What girl doesn't love a diamond ring? The thing is, she never ordered a ring. It wasn't a gift. No one she knew sent it. So she did what most of us would do. She Googled it. Turns out this is a major scam that's hitting mailboxes across the country. If you scan that QR code, you're done. It takes you to a phishing site designed to steal your personal info. It's going to ask for your name, your address, credit card number, so this way you get that warranty on a fake diamond ring. So some of these sites will also try to install malware on your phone or computer designed to steal every single account name and password that you use. That diamond ring, it's a big trap. Start your day with my free newsletter. Sign up at getkim.com. Cybercrime is on the rise, and hackers are getting smarter every day. From phishing scams to ransomware attacks, criminals are after your devices and your money. So how do you fight back? One of the best defenses is solid antivirus software. Blocks suspicious websites, and stops hackers before they can do any damage. A healthy dose of skepticism when opening emails or clicking links doesn't hurt either. But for the antivirus help you need, I trust and recommend Total AV. They update you in real time, keeping you protected from the latest threats. Go to protectwithkim.com now and get Total AV for just $19 for the first year. It covers up to 5 devices, including Windows, Macs, and smartphones. That's protectwithkim.com. Don't wait until it's too late. Your security matters. Get protected now. Go to protectwithkim.com for my exclusive deal with Total AV. Just $19 for the first year. That's protectwithkim.com. Protectwithkim.com. Protectwithkim.com.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today. We're headed for the low 90s. We have low pressure developing over in the Great Basin, and that'll be bringing us gusty wind in the next couple of days. Overnight will be clear, pretty breezy, low in the mid to upper 50s, and then we get really gusty conditions on Thursday. Wind up to 40 miles an hour. It will stay pretty hot, too. Our afternoon high in the low 90s and sunny. Little cooler and breezy on Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Running a business is tough. Operational demands change fast, and keeping up can feel impossible. That's where DSI comes in. We've been helping local businesses thrive for over 25 years. You might know us for printer products, but we're your one-stop shop for cutting-edge office technology. From managed IT to video security, audio-visual technology, and more, DSI has everything you need. We're flexible, local, and have the resources of a national corporation. Be more productive. Make more money. DSI, the heartbeat of business. Visit DSINM.com.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. It was district opening day for several baseball and softball teams yesterday. Didn't go so well for the Roswell Coyotes playing at Hobbs in baseball action. Hobbs wins 4-0. So Roswell have another shot at Hobbs tomorrow. That's a 5 o'clock start in Roswell. Meanwhile, in softball action, it was Goddard falling big at home to Artesia, 11-0. Goddard will be right back in action at Portales for a doubleheader tomorrow starting at 5 o'clock. Also, softball action, it was Roswell and Hobbs splitting a pair yesterday. This was in Roswell. First game went to Hobbs 15-8. Second game, Roswell takes 9-3. And Yadira Aragon could not be stopped. 4 for 4, 2 homers, a double, 4 RBIs, and she was the winning pitcher. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The Trump administration has taken its next steps toward imposing more tariffs, launching investigations into imports of computer chips, chip-making equipment, and pharmaceuticals. Healthcare giant Johnson & Johnson expects $400 million in tariff-related costs this year. The costs will be felt primarily within the company's medical technology unit, which makes a range of medical devices and surgical products. A federal judge has ordered Bank of America to pay more than $540 million to resolve long-running litigation from a U.S. regulator that alleged the company underpaid mandatory assessments for deposit insurance. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation sued Bank of America in 2017. Dozens of former students and pilots who say they racked up tens of thousands of dollars in debt for tuition are suing United Airlines and its flight school in the Arizona desert, saying it didn't have enough teachers and aircraft to properly train and graduate students. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Do you know what the hardest part of dealing with the roofer is? Just trying to get them on the phone. Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that you can always trust Trustmark Roofing to answer our phone. Need a free roof inspection? Just call us at 575-755-ROOF and we'll answer with a live person, a real human being. Have a roofing project already going with us and need to discuss it? Just call 575-755-ROOF and we will answer the phone. No answering machine, no voicemails, and no weird robot automated attendant. That's because at Trustmark Roofing, we're all about relationships and treating people right. That's true for customers and vendors and insurance companies and employees. Anyone and everyone who comes in contact with our company. So if you have any roofing needs at all, trust Trustmark to treat you right and to answer the phone. Our number again is 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Huzzah! The Lincoln Forest Renaissance Fair returns to Wingfield Park in Ruidoso, May 16th through 18th. Join Oso Productions for 3 days of adventure, featuring armored combat tournaments, over 100 food and craft vendors, children's activities, and live entertainment, including the Young Dubliners on Saturday night. Sponsored by the Village of Ruidoso and Lincoln County Lodgers Tax. Fusion Medical Spa, Jack's Backstage, and Ruidoso Parks and Recreation. Tickets and details at LincolnForestRenFair.com.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Chocolate lovers are going absolutely bananas over our new Bluebell Banana Fudge. Rich milk chocolate ice cream swirled with a scrumptious banana-flavored ice cream. Your favorite banana fudge bar, now in a carton.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell half gallons and 12-pack cups, $5.97 each, at all Albertson stores now through April 22nd.
Tee up for the 3rd annual Roswell Honda Charity Golf Tournament, Saturday and Sunday, April 26th and 27th at Spring River Golf Course in Roswell, with a double shotgun start at 7:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. both Saturday and Sunday. Prizes for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place, as well as longest drive closest to the pin, and a Honda Civic driver and putter with a hole-in-one. Plus, free breakfast and lunch each day, and free beer. Don't forget about the Trans-Aero helicopter golf ball drop at 9 a.m. on Sunday. Proceeds this year to benefit the VFW of Roswell, providing support and resources to our local veterans of foreign wars. Sign your team up at RoswellHonda.com or find Roswell Honda Charity Golf Tournament on Facebook to learn more. The 3rd annual Roswell Honda Charity Golf Tournament, Saturday and Sunday, April 26th and 27th at the Spring River Golf Course in Roswell. Sponsored by Pepsi, Southwest Printers, Pecos Valley Broadcasting, Albertsons, Trans-Aero Medevac, ABC Distributors, and Roswell Honda. Together we play for a purpose. Together we make a difference.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rick Thomason. The Justice Department is suing Maine for not banning transgender athletes from women's and girls' sports. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
The state of Maine is discriminating against women by failing to protect women in women's sports. Pretty basic stuff. This is a violation of Title IX. The Department of Justice will not sit by when women are discriminated against in sports.
The administration previously moved to cut federal funding to Maine for defying a presidential executive order on the matter. A U.S. District Judge ordering the Trump administration to provide more information about the deportation of an illegal alien who had been living in Maryland. Gilmar Abrego Garcia was mistakenly sent to El Salvador, and that country's president says he's not going to send him back to the U.S. Christians are celebrating Holy Week. It's not passing unnoticed at the White House, where this evening a pre-Easter dinner is on the agenda.
Christian pastors, priests, and faith leaders are expected to attend tonight's dinner, which will feature music and prayers, as well as remarks from President Trump. The White House Faith Office is also planning a staff worship service tomorrow that will feature evangelist Franklin Graham and Pastor Greg Laurie. In a Holy Week proclamation, the president said this week is a time of reflection for Christians. Greg Clugston, Washington.
American pastor Josh Sullivan, abducted at gunpoint during a church service in South Africa last week, has been rescued. 3 suspects were killed in a shootout with police commandos. Sullivan was not injured. Surpassing Wall Street expectations, retail sales rose 1.4% last month, the steepest increase in more than 2 years. On Wall Street right now, the Dow is down 314 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Peru's former first couple is prison-bound.
Former President Humala and his wife, Nadine Heredia, were convicted of accepting millions of dollars in illicit contributions from the Brazilian construction giant Odebrecht ahead of Peruvian elections in 2006 and 2011. They had been under investigation for a decade, following a wide-reaching anti-corruption probe in Brazil. Odebrecht, one of the largest building firms in Latin America, has previously pleaded guilty to bribing politicians in numerous countries.
The BBC's Peter Goffin. China's economy expanded at a robust 5.4% annual pace January through March, supported by strong exports ahead of the tariff war with the U.S. Analysts forecast that the world's second-largest economy will slow significantly in the months ahead as tariffs as high as 145% on imports from China take effect in the U.S. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. Peeps and profits go hand in hand this time of year.
Millions are made daily by Just Born Quality Confections in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Caitlin Servian is the company's brand manager.
We make 5.5 million Peeps every single day, which is approximately 2 billion Peeps per year.
Peeps is Just Born's most recognizable brand. Servian says there are many ways to include Peeps in celebrations. People have been known to use them in recipes and even artwork. I'm Mike Hempen.
Britain's Supreme Court has ruled that the UK equalities law defines a woman as someone who is born biologically female. 5 justices agreeing the terms Women and Sex in the Equality Act refer to a biological woman. This means a transgender individual who has a certificate recognizing them as female should not be considered a woman for equality purposes in the UK. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travelist and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Hope your Wednesday is going just swell.
Quite swimmingly, in fact.
Yeah, it's going to get warm.
A little bit.
Going to get windy. And then it'll get cooler.
Yeah. Yesterday was like perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a little bit of sun. You know, the sun was shining all day. So
Take your word
it was nice.
for it. I slept through most
yeah,
of it.
that's understandable. But no, I mean, just the right amount of just cool, not even wind, but breeze. It was just,
Nice. Well, today will be none of that.
I know.
It's like 96. And
picturesque spring is what I would call it.
A little windy today, real windy tomorrow.
Mhm.
That's kind of the story for the weather right now.
Mm-hmm. Warm today, hot tamale.
There you go. And you know what, though? You want to try them chips?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
We have a weird plethora of a lot of snack foods floating around
We
here.
do.
Let me grab those.
Yeah. So Sean had brought in some chips that I was not of condition to try yesterday. I can eat a chip today. And so, and actually I found peanut butter cream pies too this weekend at the store. So those aren't the Nutty Bar ones.
Yeah, we've been on the hunt for the Nutty Buddy cream pie, but
it
I
had
haven't
the
seen
advertisements on it for the Nutty Bars, and so I hadn't tried it yet, so I brought it anyway.
I saw something else kind of different that they're going to be releasing. I don't know if here or if it's just my phone teasing me, but apparently they used to sell these. They're similar to like cakes, like the cupcakes basically, but like that kind of consistency.
Okay.
But with the Nutty Buddy peanut butter cream inside.
Okay.
And coated in chocolate. So instead of like a crunch, it's like a soft cake.
I could give it a try.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
But these are the Hers horseradish and cheddar, which I've heard is the one seed when it comes to like these chips in the convenience stores.
How are you on horseradish in general?
I love horseradish.
Do you? Okay.
I love it. Yeah. It's like one of my
I'm a
favorite
little
things.
goes a long way. I don't mind it. I like it a little bit on, like if you get a prime rib, I don't mind a little bit, but I'm not like an over the top person.
When I go through the line at Arby's, they ask me, Arby's or horsey? I'm like, as much horsey sauce as you're allowed to give me by law. That's what I want. But yeah, it was funny. I was walking through the convenience store this morning, and they have another flavor that I didn't see at the other place I was at, barbecue baby back rib.
Oh, I'm sure that's delightful.
Right?
Yeah.
On a chip, no less. But horseradish and cheddar. So we're going to crack these open, and I'm just curious on the smell first, because horseradish tends to overpower things.
I would say it can be a bit loud.
All right.
Speaking of,
ooh, that's actually very cheddar forward.
I would
like
imagine it's got to
take a sniff.
Yeah, we'll do that.
A sniff and a chip.
Okay, now these are like a thicker, wavy Lay's.
You know what they smell like is the cheddar sour cream Ruffles.
Yeah.
Roy, you want to get some of this hot fire?
Now, I notice some chips are dustier than others.
Yeah. And it's mostly on one side too.
Yeah.
So you can tell the dust process doesn't go through like a shake.
Right.
But all right, well, bottoms up.
I'm going to try this one with medium dust.
Ooh. Wow. That horseradish hits immediately.
Yes, it does. Whoa.
And that is great.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Woo.
That stings
That
the
takes your
nostrils
breath.
a bit.
It does. That takes your breath away.
And I got one with medium dust. All right, this is a light dust one.
I'm not sure I want to try it.
Whew. I was not expecting that much.
The light dust,
horsiness.
not nearly as potent.
Mm-hmm. But that is, those are great.
All right, now I'm going heavy dust. This one's two-sided.
It made Roy cringe. Now, are you a can you turn his mic on? Are you a horseradish fan in general?
I am not.
Okay.
Whoa.
Not in the slightest.
Two-sided is a bit much. Whoa.
Anything like wasabi where it just hurts you. Like it actually it's not even spicy.
It's a good hurt though.
It just hurts your tongue.
See,
for no reason at all.
I feel about horseradish and wasabi the way some people feel about spicy chili. It's a different burn. It burns the sinuses.
You know what? Yeah, I couldn't eat a whole bag, and a double-sided dust one is, woof, that one got me a little bit. You know what, though?
Go ahead.
I bet these would pair wonderfully with French onion dip.
Oh, I bet you're right. I bet you're so right.
My gosh. This would pair wonderfully with
it tastes like I'm taking medicine.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you got. If you don't like horseradish, you are not going to like this chip.
I'm going to tell you.
If you're a fan of horseradish, this is a good chip.
It's deceiving because when you open the bag, you know the sniff test.
Yeah.
It's very cheddar forward.
It is, but it is very horseradish centric when you, especially if you get a double dusted chip.
All right. I enjoy those, but I can tell I'm going to have heartburn.
Yeah, those are little goes a long way. But I would like to pair that with a French onion dip. I bet it would be very good.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go, Hers. You did it again.
But
ouch.
Be prepared if you are not a horseradish aficionado, because that hits you in the face with horseradish.
Yeah. Knowing how strong that flavor on that chip was, I'm curious how strong the flavor of the baby back rib one is.
Yeah,
if that's accurate.
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember which one we're promoting with Don today, but we're promoting one.
He's wearing a hat. We're not sure which one.
I think this one is Bitter Lake.
What are we talking about today?
Bitter Lake. Okay, there it was. I couldn't remember which one it was.
Professionalism in action. Oh, okay. That just reminded me of something. Have you ever seen the Democracy Manifest clip?
I guess not.
Okay, so this is an old clip there was I don't know what the crime was. I think it was like some kind of fraud or something. It's also known as the succulent Chinese meal guy. So this guy's outside of a restaurant in New York. The video's from like the maybe 90s, 80s, 90s, whatever. And he's being arrested.
Okay.
And he's a very loud, very British man. And he keeps saying, What am I being arrested for? This is democracy manifest. But the clip that everybody always talks about is right as he's being handcuffed and put into the car. Yeah. He goes, what am I being arrested for? Enjoying a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
You know, now that you say that, that does sound familiar, that guy.
It's one of my favorite clips on the internet. And I find myself just randomly out loud just going, a succulent Chinese meal? People look at me weird on the street, I admit. But
yeah, and now that you say it, though, I think I've seen that clip.
It pops up every like 2 or 3 years. Yeah, like it goes super viral again.
Yeah, he's kind of a bearded dude, kind of beefy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came up again recently because so everybody's been doing the these AI remakes, so to speak, but like stills in like Muppets or in like Studio Ghibli.
Okay.
Which is that Japanese art style.
Yes. Okay.
Mitsuyaki,
like Disney anime look,
kind of Spirited Away. That's a Studio Ghibli movie. But they did the succulent Chinese meal guy up as a Muppet and like all the people in the background, and it's spot on. AI is terrifying, but it is spot on. So if the succulent Chinese meal guy was ever a Muppet, now I know exactly what it would look like.
Yeah. Speaking of AI and all this stuff,
A1.
Yes. Delicious. AI, not so much. When are we going to stop the action figure thing, please?
I know
that came hard in the paint quick, and I'm already done with it.
Although it is the variants that I've been seeing are pretty funny.
Yeah,
like when it just accidentally makes somebody a black guy.
So I haven't played with this stuff because I really don't want to, but. I guess you make it ironic or unironic as you want it to, based on the questions you give it. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Probably. Well, and your picture, because my kid's mom did one. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that. But my kid's mom did one, and it came out pregnant.
Sorry, I'm not supposed to let that mean, but that's funny. Right.
It was.
How did she take that?
She's like, I don't know why it made me pregnant, but here's me. The accessories were all pretty accurate. It was like a designer purse, a money clip, credit card.
I've surprisingly never heard of this action.
Have you not seen them?
Yeah, go on Facebook. You cannot not get on your Facebook wall and not hit one of these.
It's like somebody will post up. It just looks like it's an orange package and just says their name on it or whatever, and then the action figure.
I feel like it's a evolution of the Halloween costume.
Oh yeah, the spirit Halloween.
Yeah, it's a evolution of that, so to speak.
Now that we've his phone's not in here. I was gonna say now that we've said it, you will see it on Facebook, but it's just how the algorithm works. I'm gonna see if I can find one just at random.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're
I can make myself into a G.I. Joe, basically.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like I've seen everything from ones that are kind of accurate to.
This is
unironic or ironic.
Somebody made the A1 teacher high stake testing action figure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing now.
Yeah, it's they're popping up a lot, but I think that trend, like most, will work its way through for a couple of weeks, and then somebody's going to be like, "You all are giving AI way too much information," and then
I'm wondering which program they're using that's specifically making that, because I don't think that's a Midjourney or.
No, it's probably like one of those. You know how like
I think there's a couple different ones now.
When you're on Facebook, it's like you try this app now, or try this game now.
I think there's there was one official one, and then because I've seen offshoots that are slightly different.
Yeah, they spreads like zombie.
Yeah,
it's like there was just one.
There was one,
now
and then
they're everywhere.
30 Chinese knockoff versions showed up or something. I don't know, but anyway, it's there. You kind of
because that Studio Ghibli stuff you're talking about, that's specifically like ChatGPT.
Yeah,
doing that.
Yeah. But these are I think a Facebook in-app.
And then I saw one other thing, and this is the first thing that I saw AI generated that I want to make real now.
Okay.
And I showed you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Someone typed in Chat GPT, what if Whataburger put out a McRib? And it turned out something that I would buy 2 of.
It's glorious looking. It's the
Texas toast.
It's the Whataburger Texas toast.
Yeah.
With a layer of onion rings.
Yes.
A thick rib patty and
the
then
pickles.
and the pickles, yeah.
Yes.
And then the sauce at the bottom,
The pickles.
Yeah, and
we
got
can't
those.
forget the pickles.
But yeah, it looked phenomenal.
I was like, yes, make that happen. It was basically the McRib with onion rings and Texas toast. And I'm like, uh-huh.
Whataburger tends to be perpetually online when it comes to social media. I'm hoping somebody sends it to him.
Wait, was the Texas toast long? Like the
Uh-huh.
like
It
the
was length of the McRib.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny, actually.
Long-
like long Texas toast.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Panhandle Texas toast.
Mhm.
We'll call it that. I
There
don't
you
know. We could think of a name.
Or
we
maybe
need
the
to invent
rib.
it.
Maybe the rib was shortened to fit the Texas toast.
Could be. I'm going to assume his length. It's long because it looked long. It looked like a McRib length sandwich.
I think that the McRib bun makes the McRib look longer than it is. I think it's like the letterbox of fast food.
Yeah.
They're really showing us. It's a full square, but they're just showing us this much of it, so it looks longer.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I want one.
It did look awesome.
Make this happen.
Yes.
I know a bunch of people. You can make one at home. Yeah, but where's the fun in that?
Mhm.
I want to order it on a menu.
That's right. These things hurt. Not wrong.
Let's see. Don Wells going to join us here to talk Friends of Bitter Lake. He's got many hats, but it's his Bitter Lake hat today. Before we do that, let's get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today. We're headed for the low 90s. We have low pressure developing over in the Great Basin, and that'll be bringing us gusty wind in the next couple of days. Overnight will be clear, pretty breezy, low in the mid to upper 50s, and then we get really gusty conditions on Thursday. Wind up to 40 miles an hour. It will stay pretty hot, too. Our afternoon high in the low 90s and sunny. Little cooler and breezy on Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, I need to hit the refresh on that. My apologies. Currently 59 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 54%. Winds are calm at the moment. Today, sunny and 92. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 early, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. Winds pick up tonight, mostly clear, overnight low of 55. Southwest winds 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. Winds will drop down 10 to 15 after midnight. But pick right back up for Thursday. In fact, they've issued a fire weather watch beginning at 7 a.m. tomorrow. That's going to remain in effect through 9 p.m. tomorrow evening. We are looking at areas of blowing dust for tomorrow afternoon, 96 and sunny. Winds will be out of the southwest early, 5 to 15, 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour by Thursday afternoon. Thursday night, we're looking at patchy blowing dust continuing till about 7 p.m., partly cloudy, overnight low of 58. Winds will be blowing out of the southwest, 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. Expect winds drop down 10 to 20 after midnight tomorrow night. Friday, another windy day, sunny and 84. Southwest winds 10 to 20 early, 20 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour Friday afternoon. Friday night, clear, overnight low of 47, and then cooler and some slight rain chances for Saturday. A 20% chance at showers on Saturday, otherwise sunny and 72, and then sunny and 76 for your Sunday. Then it looks like we'll be back into the mid-80s to start the work week next week. And so looks like Easter weekend going to be cooling off. Good Friday will be windy, but Saturday and Sunday probably quite pleasant there. So if you got outdoor plans for Easter, it should be good to go. All right, 8:21, we're going to take a 3.5-minute break, and then Don Will join us here talking Friends of Bitter Lake. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Have you experienced the Valley Cafe yet? It's much more than lunch or dinner. It's an experience. Chef Anthony Noble is a nominated Chef of the Year and manager with a 4.9 out of 5 kitchen cleanliness rating and a 4.8 out of 5 most love rating. It's time for you to experience the difference that so many others already have at the Valley Cafe. Visit for lunch or dinner at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell. And save the Valley Cafe in your contacts. 575-755-EATS. 575-755-3287. Don't forget, we can cater your event too, and a portion of our proceeds go to the Dream Center in Roswell.
Do you want to improve the appearance of your smile or increase your self-esteem and confidence? Many people have already chosen to update their smile with veneers. Here at Carabelli Dental in Roswell, we work with our patients to understand their smile goals. With veneer treatment, we can eliminate gaps between teeth, solve the problems of stained teeth, and even perfect uneven or misshaped teeth. You owe it to yourself to have the smile you know is possible. Call us now.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-622-4455.
This is the time of year we can get all 4 seasons in just one day. Hi, this is Ben Manette from Roswell Seed Company. 1 minute you're sweating in the sun, and the next minute you've got slush in your shoes. But that's winter in Roswell, and after 127 years, we're starting to get used to it. It's too early to plant very much, but you can fertilize pecan trees, spray for dandelions, order your bees, and pick up a new seed catalog. So come see us at Roswell Seed. Like Jim Gill would say, enjoy the warm days, but don't go far from the fire.
Life may be like a box of chocolates, but what she really wants is a brand new kitchen.
From the cabinets to the appliances to the installation, Bush Woodwork and Appliance is your one-stop shop for an awesome new kitchen. Our designers will turn your ideas into a vision, and our craftsmen will turn that vision into an amazing new kitchen. At Bush Woodwork and Appliance, one call does it all.
And you always know what you're going to get. The best.
Check out some of the Easter specials you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Select boxes of Kellogg's breakfast cereals are $3.98 each, and select tubs of Blue Bunny ice cream or frozen yogurt are 2 for $6. In produce, red ripe strawberries are $1.69 a pound, and Canada Gold cantaloupes are $1.99 each. In the meat department, Cook's bone-in shake portion hams are $1.79 a pound, and pork spare ribs are $1.99 a pound. These are just some of the Easter specials you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
Every year, thousands of nursing home and assisted living residents face neglect and mistreatment. But as an ombudsman, you can be a voice for those who often go unheard. And we're looking for volunteers. Ombudsmen advocate for residents' rights and ensure quality care. It's an incredibly fulfilling experience. I know because I am one. Whether you're retired or just starting your career, your dedication and compassion will make a significant impact. Learn about volunteering as an ombudsman today at aging.nm.gov/volunteer. Sponsored by this station and the NMBA.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. China has more English speakers than the United States. They have more Chinese speakers, too. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 8 o'clock. And join us in studio this morning. Wears many hats, but wearing his Friends of Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge hat this morning. Don Weld back with us. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, Mike. How you doing?
Doing great, doing great. Of course,
good.
We were just talking, next couple days of weather is not going to be so fun.
Right.
But this weekend will be all right, which kind of set the table for Bitter Lake this weekend.
Fits in real nice. It should be a decent day.
Yeah.
And we're going to go out there and dig up some trash and get rid of it.
All right.
That old weeds and stuff, and put down some new plants.
Nice. So Service Project weekend this Saturday.
You got it.
Out of Friends of Bitter Lake. If you're a friend already, please come on down and join us. But even if you're not a friend but interested or just want to come out and get involved, we'd love to have as many volunteers as humanly possible coming in.
You like to dig in the dirt? Come out and dig in the dirt.
Absolutely,
because that's what we're gonna do.
And I'm thinking weather's going to cooperate just fine for us. It's supposed to be sunny at 72. There is a 20% chance it showers, but that for the afternoon. But
yeah,
I think you guys will be long gone by then.
Yeah, we're going to meet out there around 9 o'clock or so, and hopefully we get out of there by 12, 1 o'clock, something like that. But
the weather should be good. Like I said, the high 70s, so probably light jacket, and probably by the time of it, you probably got that around your waist or whatever.
You'd be sweating by the time time to leave.
But also just kind of a beautiful time to go out and see Bitter Lake too.
That's
in the
right.
spring, if you haven't been out and seen the spring foliage and all what spring looks like out at Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge is a good time to check it out.
Spring and fall are some of the best times of the year. Be sure, though, to bring your bug spray.
Wear your whatever, the off or whatever the brand's there.
Yeah, get that bug spray out, because
they always say the ones with DEET is the ones to go with.
Yep.
So if you do buy bug spray to come out there, look for the ones with DEET.
Something with a DEET. One time we had it at the nature store. I have to check and see if we've still got those little bracelets.
Oh, do they work?
Yeah, well, apparently.
I've seen those, but I didn't know if they've actually, like I've seen those. I've seen things you clip on your waist.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they actually worked or not. Yeah,
and
like a bubble.
They're DEET based.
Okay.
So you get this aura of,
nice.
of
Yeah, I'll be honest. Last time I'm doing bug spray, it's the old school can, and you're just
yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I'll use.
Yeah, that's the but I know technology's changed a little bit. I just never tried it to see if any of it works or not.
Yeah.
But I would imagine it's probably good for if you're out at Bitter Lake or something. But if you're out like camping in like I don't know, some moist climate, up in Maine somewhere, I don't think that thing on your belt's going to help you much.
No, it's too humid and too heavy, so it will just wear you down.
Absolutely. But anyway, we got like I said, we're going to be doing some weeding and some planting on Saturday at 9:00. So if you'd like to come out, just meet us there at the visitor center a little bit before 9. Bring some gloves. Bring some, probably
tools. You might want to bring a little hand tools, maybe.
Okay.
Because you might want to dig a couple of holes to put
those little hand spades, things like that, or
those
the
kind of things.
Little rakes.
You can bring your rakes and hose and things like that too, because we'll still need to rake some stuff up. And
we need stand-up rakes and stand-up shovels too. But
if you have a wheelbarrow, you might bring that, because we'll load trash and weeds and stuff to haul it off to the nearest dump area.
Sure, make less trips to the pickup or whatever you're loading up in. So, but come on out, and of course, if you want, bring the family out and make
a day of it.
Have a day of exploring and walk around some of the trails afterwards, and seeing some of the just wildlife and things, plant life happening out at the refuge.
Yep, out just outside. Now we've set this up primarily for the Dragonfly Festival, but just outside the nature store, we now have 2 covered. Well, one's complete, the other one's being worked on. Covered picnic table areas.
Okay.
So you can come out there and you'll be at least partially covered from sun and that kind of thing.
Okay.
They're nice little places to sit.
Yeah. Relax and
bring your sack lunch or whatever. And
and we say this every time Don comes in. Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, we call it. It's there for nature, for plants and animals native to this part of the country, and it is also a lack of a better term, pilot flying J for the migratory animals. It literally is when the migratory animals are either heading north for summer or south for the winter. The Bitter Lake Refuge is that place where they stop to fuel up and get ready for the next leg of the journey. And everything from birds to butterflies use it. So it's quite a cool thing.
Yep. Now the cranes are already gone. They leave about March.
Yeah. They'll be back in the fall.
They'll be back. Yep. They'll be back around October. That's the typical schedule for them. And the geese are somewhat the same way.
Okay.
About the same time frame.
So do they look at Bitter Lake as south for the winter for them?
Some of them.
Yeah. Some of them, they said, this is south for us. This is they come from probably up in Canada somewhere.
Yeah. They're up around the Yukon area.
Yeah. Of course, close to the Arctic Circle part of Canada.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get way up there on the tunda. Because they're relatively safe up there.
Well, I'll say Bitter Lake's probably like a tropical desert for them.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Compared to, so yeah, I'm going to say when we drop down to the 30s, they're like,
that's nothing. Oh, it's a nice warm day. Is that
still
up to
in my
30?
crane shorts.
Yeah. There you go.
but yeah, but that's cool too, because they'll lay offspring and they'll and sometimes you'll get like the static cams and you can get to track the progress of some of these birds as they're hatching their new offspring and all that. So, but that's all part of Bitter Lake. It is for us, as we as humans, we're there to observe and report.
That's right.
And enjoy. We do not touch as much. We use as little influence of man as possible in there. The only thing man really comes in there to do is to keep the native and keep the non-native out of it.
There you go.
That's the big part that man plays its role in. And then obviously when it comes to, the trails and things. And now, by all means, we'd love for you to walk out and explore, but stay on the trails. Don't go off the trails. It's not a place for camping and picnicking and all that. That's come on out to Bottomless Lakes. They can do that aplenty out there.
That's for out there.
But Bitter Lake is a wildlife refuge. That plants and the animals are top priority at that facility.
Yeah,
we're there just to see it in action.
We're caretakers.
Yeah.
Over the centuries, man has gone from predator to observer, and now we're kind of moving into that caretaker role.
Sure.
So we want to preserve as much of what we've got as we can.
Absolutely.
And
this is like good conservation. When we talk about conservation and all this, and you want to get political, we can get political. But at the end of the day, good conservation is man's influence is already here. It's been here for thousands of years, and all of that. Therefore, for us and nature to coexist, we all have to work together on that, and that's where the good conservation is. It's not just shutting off land and saying, all right, we've been touching it for years, we're not going to touch it anymore. Now it's going to be a forest fire problem or whatever other problems that come. We need good conservation. Okay, we're not going to set up a Walmart in there, but you know what? We need to go there and thin the forest sometimes. We need to go because, other animals rely on that for hunting. It's also, when the lightning strikes and it's dry as all get out, it's less to burn up. And I mean,
that's right.
This is good conservation, and that's what you see at Bitter Lake is yes, man is hands off most of it, but when man caused other issues, man goes back to correct it to try to do that.
That's what we tried to do.
And that's really like with all these invasive plants, that's just humans over the years bringing things in and doing this, you hear like the oryxes. Oryxes are not native to New Mexico, folks.
No.
That we brought those here.
but they sure have taken over.
They have.
There's a big herd of them out there now.
Well, the environment is very conducive to their
perfect
to what they need, but they are not native to New Mexico. That is, and they are lovely animals. But you know what? You don't want them in Bitter Lake or anything like that.
No,
because it's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, they would. They would kind of tear up a lot of stuff.
And so that's why we. If here for whatever's supposed to be in the Southwest North America desert here, that's what we promote out there. The animals, the plants, and then obviously setting at the table for the migratory animals. Make sure the cranes and the butterflies and the other birds have enough to eat while they're here.
Yep, that's right.
That's what you're doing. So come out this weekend.
For. Yep,
come out and be a part of it.
Now, as a sad side note to this. Our manager, Lindsay Landowski.
She is
moving
on.
Yes, she is. She's taken on another management position up in, I want to say Michigan.
Okay.
I think it's Michigan.
Okay.
And so she will be leaving within the month.
Okay. Just she was curious. Where is she from that area? Or?
Yes,
that's what I kind of figured.
That was part of the reason why
I kind of figured. When they have family in that area, and that's where she grew up, and I'm going to say her heart lies in the wildlife and plant life that's native to where she's from.
That's right.
So that makes complete sense.
That's what she's headed for, and more power to her.
Absolutely.
We're going to be sad to lose her.
Absolutely,
she has been a tremendous asset to the Bitter Lake Wildlife.
But happy for her life successes here and going on.
She's headed where she wants to be and needs to be.
Good for her. Well, we're happy for her and sad to see her go. And so that being said, is a hunt for a replacement on the way, or is this part of the
with
all the cutbacks and everything,
and so on? We will have kind of an intern. Or interim.
Gotcha. An interim.
Interim. There you go. An interim manager off and on. They'll come in for a few days and then, transfer back and forth. that kind of a thing goes on quite often.
Gotcha.
While they decide on and search for a new manager.
A permanent position.
Yeah.
And of course, obviously with the Doge stuff going, all that's impacted Bitter Lake in many places it. So,
Bitter Lake hasn't lost that many people yet.
Right. Knock on wood. But
we'll keep that in mind. But hopefully we won't lose that many, because we're right at just barely.
I'm about to say, it's
now.
not like you had excessive people laying around anyway around here.
Everybody out there works their tail off. And they do a darn good job with the limited resources that they have, financially and personnel-wise.
Absolutely.
So I'm really proud of the crew that we have out there.
Absolutely.
And we keep or maintain the fire crew. The federal fire crew is maintained at Bitter Lake.
So there's a bigger role out there than
Yes.
people realize. Yeah.
Yep.
And bigger impact of what they do and what you will miss when
Right.
if they go away.
That's right. If something happens, that crew has to pack up and be gone in an hour, type of thing. I mean, to get someplace.
I'm sure they're pretty busy based on the part of the world we live in.
That's right. And of course, having them that Bitter Lake, they still have a lot of other responsibilities.
Day-to-day routines. Of
Right.
Mitigations and things out there.
So so we're really happy to have them there.
Absolutely. One thing I would like to the public, if you want to, if you love what Bitter Lake and what it's about, get more involved, and that's either supporting the friends directly by becoming a friend, but another great way, if you don't necessarily want to be a friend, is shop at the gift shop there
you go.
at the Bitter Lake Refuge there.
That's right.
That is also run by the Friends of Bitter Lake. So every time you're buying T-shirts or maps or games or books or any of the stuff, there's so much stuff you can buy there. All the proceeds from that go back to projects there at Bitter Lake. I'm going to take a stab at some of the work, and if there was any cost involved for plants and all that, it probably what you bought at the gift store paid for that stuff.
Yep.
So that's where it goes.
That money turns right around and goes back into the refuge some way, some way or another.
And I would even offer this too. You might want to become a friend to do this, but we have, if you have time on your hands and want to volunteer, work out at the store. They can always, because the more time, the more volunteers they have, the more they can keep that store open.
That's right.
During this, we are coming up on the summer months, and I imagine you're going to have a few of your national locals, I guess we could call them, that they kind of get their RVers that come through, and they'll basically set up shop for a month or so out at Bitter Lake, and then they'll run the store, and in exchange they can kind of hook up to the facilities there and live off that for the month they're there. And then in exchange, they're running the store and doing other things out there. And then on their downtime, they're out sightseeing and doing, vacationing. But
that's what most of our RVers like to do, is they'll come in and for the most part, they actually stick around 4 to 6 months.
Okay, so it's pretty long time.
Yeah, they do. Their contract, you might say, is usually that length of time.
Gotcha. Okay.
But we provide the space for them to put their RV and all the hookups they need, water and electrical, all of that stuff. Trying to remember, do we actually have propane? We do. I think we have a propane hookup.
Oh, okay.
So they're set.
Yeah.
And then they can take their little vehicle and they can go around, see Carlsbad. They can go up to Ruidoso.
Use it as a jumping off point, basically.
Right.
Yeah. Their home base while they're sightseeing New Mexico or sightseeing Southwest.
Right. And for the most part, they only work about 3 days a week.
Yeah. And it's really, but in the meantime, we love to have volunteers if you're, retired or,
we
got
can
some
always
time in
use
your
more
hands.
people.
Say, hey, yeah, I could definitely work a couple days out there each week or a couple hours each week out there. Whatever it is you can donate, that'd be great.
And we do now. Friends of Bitter Lake is one way to help. You can actually volunteer directly for the refuge too.
Okay.
There's another volunteer program.
Oh, excellent.
A lot of times, the volunteer program, they draw people out of that. You can be both. You can be a
you can wear two hats. They'll let you.
Yeah. Well, out of that volunteer program is where we get a lot of the people who do our bird counts.
Oh, okay.
Especially the Christmas bird count.
Gotcha.
And if you ever think about this.
So those volunteers are probably almost amateur hobbyist
birders.
Yeah,
they're
bird
birders,
watchers.
pretty much.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, even if you're not, if you want to learn to be, they will teach you how to count these flies.
Oh, cool.
You're not going to sit there and go 1, 2, 3. That's not how it's done. Oh, that looks like a group of 10.
Was that 37 or 38? Dang it, start over.
Yeah. So, yeah, but they have, and think about it, at Christmas time, it gets pretty cold, and they're out there at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you're out when the birds are out.
You got to catch them. You try to catch, especially the cranes, you try to catch them before the sun rises, because when the sun rises, they say, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And away they go for the day.
They're out looking for lunch or breakfast.
Yeah. And they'll feed all day long, and then they'll come back in the evenings and settle in at their little niche and cubby hole. Or
right.
whatever.
Hang out for the, watch their evening shows.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, look at that guy. Oh,
That's right. Have a conversation with the kid, how their day was, all that good stuff. That's what all that goes down.
Where did you find the good stuff to eat?
That's right.
So,
but yeah, so please, and that's a cool, but I guess, can you go through the Friends of Bitter Lake website to find out about the other program, or do you go?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can go to, now you're better off if you go to the government website for Bitter Lake.
Okay. Is it bitterlake.gov or something?
Bitterlake.gov, I believe I think you're right.
Okay.
I think that's the one. And you should be able to find volunteering at the refuge.
Excellent. And then, of course, if you want to read more about the mission of Bitter Lake and the type of work they do out there and all that'll be on the website.
Same thing.
There too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll look it on there too.
And then also, friendsofbitterlake.org is the Friends site. And if you'd like to make donations, if you'd like to be a friend, if you just want to learn more about the Friends, that's where you go for all of that.
Yeah, they can tell you how to make donations. We don't, or we did at one time have like a PayPal thing.
Okay.
But
now it's at the gift shop.
Yeah, the cost on maintaining that was
you were losing more money making.
Yeah, you got it. So we ask that if you're going to make a donation, there's a letter, a little form that I'm going to make this donation, mail it in.
Okay.
Mail your check in.
Okay. Or if you just happen to be at the Bitter Lake, you can drop it off. There's a box there.
That's
at the
right.
gift shop. You can drop
go
it
to
off.
Nature Score and just talk to the counter person and say, "Hey, I want to make a donation." They say, "Okay,
yeah,
we'll take your money."
Yeah, so they'll be ready and willing.
You got
it. But and if you haven't been out, come out this weekend. Even if you're not there for the service project, come out and visit. Like I said, the weather's going to be great. Like with Easter weekend, if you got a lot of family in town and looking to do some things in between your Easter activities, take them on out to Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge.
And say hi.
Let them see nature in action out there.
Well, yeah, and like you said earlier, Mike, have them come out early.
Yes.
Because that's when the animals are out.
That's when they're doing their thing.
That's right.
It's the middle of the day is kind of the lull in the day. The action is in the mornings, like right around sunrise, right when Bitter Lake opens,
right,
and then sunset when that's when they are kind of settling down for the days and they're kind of doing their last little bits before they hunker down for the night.
Yep.
So and then of course your nocturnal animals, they're the ones that are just getting out and about for their days.
That's right. Yeah, we're not going to see those to any extent.
Yes, you'll hear them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you'll hear them all night long.
But yeah, and that's and of course Bitter Lake, the Bitter Lake Refuge is open from sun up to sundown.
Correct.
The good news is the gate when you go in and out, it's like the opposite of a roach motel. It won't let you in at sundown, but it'll let you out.
Yes.
So you can. So if you do get on the property and then it's dark and you're like, oh dang,
I got to get out of here.
You don't need to stay the night there. You can they'll let you out the gate there, but it won't let any more people in after sunset. And conversely, with the it'll unlock at sunrise there, and you can
drive in. Yep.
And see the early action.
Sunrise and then the gate rises.
Yeah. Watch it. Yeah.
Oh, there goes the gate. Must be sunrise.
And then come on in and enjoy the. If you haven't been there, it's just beautiful. If you've never been to Bitter Lake, you're going to be blown away because you're like, this is here, and it's literally right outside of Roswell, right?
That's right. So. And as we continue, we're working on that new South Trail. Now the name just skipped from me. Anyway, Oxbow Trail. There you
Okay.
go. The Oxbow Trail down at the south end of the refuge. You take the drive down there, and there'll be a little parking lot area and all that. That trail was severely damaged during those floods.
Gotcha.
And we're still working on getting that back to a user. You can go out there, but be really
It's
careful.
still treacherous. It's not. It's safer than it was post flood.
Correct.
But it's not to where it was pre flood.
That's right. And the
Gotcha.
other thing we'd like to get volunteers to do is go out to the Boy Scout camp.
Yes.
There's a Boy Scout camp out on the east side. You can go back the back trails, and that is an adventure in itself. Is just getting out there.
Gotcha.
But that was flooded. I want to say, what was that, 2-3 years ago?
And then
when
still
we
never
had that
quite.
other flood.
Yeah.
Heavy duty flood.
So it's never been quite.
It's never
rehabbed.
been really cleaned up.
So some Eagle Scout projects, perhaps.
Could be, or just Boy Scout. We're going to try to get a Cub Scout group out there. There's platforms for their tents.
I gotcha. Yeah.
The idea was to have these up on platforms. It reduces the chance of little creatures that squirm around the area.
If I remember, like from summer camp days, they have these wall tents they put up, and they usually do they put them up on those platforms.
Right.
That's
what's
basically oversized pallets is what they kind of look like.
That's about right. That's about right.
Yeah.
And then they got to dig out the fire pit, get that going, and then they've got there's a big covered hut that just got flooded with mud.
So it needs to be.
You need to clean all of that out. The toilets need to be.
Sounds like a really good Eagle project.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could really get it.
Yeah.
A lot of things
Any
done.
aspiring Eagle Scouts out there looking for some work?
There you
reach
go.
out to Bitter Lake. They might have a.
We got a number of other Eagle Scout projects too. So.
Yeah, if that doesn't suit your fancy, we got more.
That's right. Contact Post 61, and we will give you all the projects you can handle.
This is true. Yeah, the American Legion side, we definitely got you covered there. But come out this Saturday, beginning at 9 a.m. for our service project cleanup day. Like I said, you should be done by probably a little after lunch.
Yep.
They're going to be basically pulling weeds and then planting some new plant life.
Right.
In some flood, recouping some of the flood stuff, weeding
Right.
and some of the migration of some of the plant stuff from the water. I'm sure is some of that issues and stuff. Like you know how a lot of people have noticed after the flood, like they've got a lot of weird weeds and stuff in their yards. If you got Bitter Lake's dealing with the same kind of deal.
That's
so
right.
That's kind of the work you're going to be doing.
So we have to get rid of as much of that as we can.
Yeah. So. You got a few more minutes. You got something else? Yeah.
Okay. One of the things we want to look at is the pond.
Okay.
Every year we got to clean that pond up a little bit. Being a water pond, silt and all this dust and stuff that it tends to land and then sink.
It's not like a lake. It's some that usually has a river that kind of goes
right,
and so there's a filtration there. But a pond, it gets stagnant.
It's a pond.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
we only way we can refresh it is through the fountain.
Gotcha.
So we need to clean out some of the old junk in there every year.
Get the going.
Yeah. Well, the fountain works. It's just you got to clean up the
Well, I mean that's
silt and stuff.
Yeah,
underneath.
it gets pretty caked in there and pretty gummed up but yeah, that's the things with ponds is unless you sometimes the ecosystem's clean depending on the plant life and everything in there.
Right.
But if it's ponds can get quite if there's not something going on.
So if you got somebody out there wants to do some wading in the pond.
There you go.
Bring your waders.
There you go.
We'll give you we'll find some brooms or whatever. And now you got to be careful because it's a tarp, and if you tear the tarp, there goes the pond.
So yeah, we gotta light on your feet.
Yeah, right.
Got any ballerinas that don't want to get muddy?
There you go. There you go. Dance on water.
That's right. Friendsofbitterlake.org is the website to learn everything about Friends of Bitter Lake.
Right.
And if you have any questions about this weekend, you'll find them there.
That's right.
Don't forget, there's also the Friends of Bitter Lake Facebook page. You can like and follow there. Ask questions if you got any, then they'll get back to you on that. And then, of course, just come on out Saturday morning about 9 o'clock. Meet us at the visitor center there at Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, and come ready to get a little dirty and ready to have some fun too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. To get it all done?
I think so.
All right. Well,
tools and bug spray, and let's go.
That's right. Bug it up. No, get you bug spray and all that too. So, well, thank you, Don. We'll see you next time here with your other hats.
yeah. Next week.
More
I got
hats.
2 of them next week.
Yeah, more hats. All right. It is 8:52. Let's pause for news, sports update, your Red Apple update, and a quick break to pay for lunch. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. A quick update on the measles outbreak in New Mexico, which has now spread to a 4th county. Previously, health officials had said all cases were in Eddy, Lee, and Chavez counties, but now health authorities in Doña Ana County say they have cases. The majority of the cases in Lee County, with 59 there. 5 people have been hospitalized so far in New Mexico, and 1 person has died. 2 cases are in Eddy County. Chavez and Doña Ana each have 1 case. 2 Artesia men are facing serious criminal charges in Alaska following lengthy investigations by Alaska wildlife troopers into illegal hunting and residency violations spanning years. According to wildlife troopers in Anchor Point on the Kenai Peninsula, 38-year-old Franklin Keaton Waters and 41-year-old William A. Miller, both of Artesia, are accused of fraudulently obtaining Alaska resident hunting and fishing licenses while continuing to claim residency and receive benefits in New Mexico. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. It was district opening day for several baseball and softball teams yesterday. Didn't go so well for the Roswell Coyotes playing at Hobbs in baseball action. Hobbs wins 4-0. So Roswell have another shot at Hobbs tomorrow. That's a 5 o'clock start in Roswell. Meanwhile, in softball action, it was Goddard falling big at home to Artesia 11-0. Goddard will be right back in action at Portales for a doubleheader tomorrow starting at 5 o'clock. Also, softball action, it was Roswell and Hobbs splitting a pair yesterday. This was in Roswell. First game went to Hobbs 15-8. Second game, Roswell takes 9-3, and Yadira Aragon could not be stopped. 4 for 4, 2 homers, a double, 4 RBIs, and she was the winning pitcher. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today. We're headed for the low 90s. We have low pressure developing over in the Great Basin, and that'll be bringing us gusty wind in the next couple of days. Overnight will be clear, pretty breezy, low in the mid to upper 50s, and then we get really gusty conditions on Thursday. Wind up to 40 miles an hour. It will stay pretty hot too. Our afternoon high in the low 90s and sunny. Little cooler and breezy on Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
I'm James Flippin. U.S. stocks finished lower yesterday, a back and forth session for the market overall. Investors reacting to the latest in terms of corporate earnings. Wall Street watchers say the tariff-based volatility seems to be easing in terms of that trend and the recent market turmoil. The CBOE Volatility Index, also known as Wall Street's fear gauge, dropped to below 30 after hitting a high of nearly 60 last week. Investors keeping a close eye on electronics shipments from China, including iPhones, as there is an exemption on levies for those imports for the time being. In economic data, U.S. import prices edged lower in March. We'll see what impact tariffs have on that going forward. In terms of New York's manufacturing output in the Empire State Manufacturing Survey, that declined in April. Company-specific news, Bank of America and Citigroup saw their share price rise after beating analyst expectations. United Airlines says it's cutting flights as domestic demand has slipped overall. Tomorrow, we'll get earnings reports from Netflix. The streaming giant aims to double its revenue by 2030. With business, I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
This is Judge Janine Pirro with an important message. A mom and her son were being followed by a man in a parking lot. As he approached their car, she pulled out her Byrna launcher, and the sight of it was enough to make him flee. Byrna gives you the power to protect your family without lethal force. No permits, no background checks, just peace of mind. Visit Byrna.com and use code Janine for 10% off. Remember, Byrna isn't legal in New York City or Yonkers. Stay safe. Stay prepared with Byrna.
Upside down? Time to turn it around. The Upside Down and Payoff Sales event is on now at Roswell Honda. Now through Easter weekend, Roswell Honda needs your trade, and they'll do whatever it takes to get it. If they make a deal, they'll pay off your trade no matter what you owe and eliminate your existing loan or lease. Drive away today for $0 down and payments as low as $199 a month with or without perfect credit. Drive newer for less and get right side up during the Upside Down and Payoff Sales event at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
The Eastern New Mexico University System is proud to present One Eastern Day, sponsored by J.P. Stone Community Bank, on Thursday, May 1st from 4 to 9 p.m. on the campus of Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Come join ENMU for a family fun night featuring food trucks, inflatables, info booths, and live music by Roswell's own Grupo Maldad from 7 to 9 p.m. Bring out the whole family May 1st to ENMU Roswell and join us for One Eastern Day. Visit roswell.enmu.edu for more information. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success, that's what we're about.
That new avocado slicer won't do you any good if you can't find it.
Top quality kitchen cabinets from Bush Woodworks are more than just beautiful. They keep things organized and make cooking more fun. Bush kitchen cabinets cost about the same as the box store, even less when you install them yourself. And we'll give you all the advice you need. So take it from James, the Cabinet King.
Come see us at Bush and let's get cooking.
On Saturday, April 19th at 7 p.m., join the Spencer Theater and Eric Ellison for a heartfelt Gordon Lightfoot tribute. Known as the Lightfoot of the Rockies, Ellison will perform classics like The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, If You Could Read My Mind, and Sundown. Don't miss this evening of iconic melodies. Get your tickets online at spencertheater.com or by calling the box office at 575-336-4800. We'll see you at the Spencer.
Clyde Lewis and Ground Zero is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Accusing Maine of violating the federal Title IX statute, the Justice Department is taking the state to court. Maine is targeted for refusing to ban transgender athletes from girls' and women's sports.
This is about sports. This is also about these young women's personal safety. I've met many of these women throughout the past weeks and months, and what they have been through is horrific.
Attorney General Pam Bondi, a presidential executive order bars transgender athletes from girls' and women's sports. Federal judge ordering sworn testimony by Trump officials regarding efforts to return an illegal alien mistakenly deported to his native El Salvador.
In a Tuesday hearing, the Maryland judge said Trump officials defied a Supreme Court order to facilitate the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. The U.S. and Salvadoran governments each said they were unable to bring back the man, but the judge dismissed those statements as two very misguided ships passing in the night. The Trump administration claims Abrego Garcia is in the MS-13 gang, but his attorneys deny the allegations. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Discouraging news for veteran Democrat Senator Chuck Schumer in a new survey. It comes amid speculation he could face a primary challenge.
More than half of respondents to a new Marist poll of New Yorkers say it's time for Schumer to give up the role of Senate Minority Leader and pass the torch to somebody new. 45% said the 74-year-old Schumer should remain in the position. Among Democrats, about half say Schumer should remain in his current role. 48% say it's time for him to pass the torch. Schumer has faced growing criticism from within his own party for not doing more to oppose President Trump and the GOP majority. Bob Agnew reporting.
Wall Street in the red this hour. The Dow is down 104 points. The NASDAQ off 306 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
As Sudan marks 2 years of civil war, atrocities and famine are mounting in what the UN calls the world's worst humanitarian crisis.
Sudan's grievous war is driven by the deep enmity between the two generals and their forces, but is also fueled by the rivalries of their backers, all of whom deny taking sides. Even peace efforts have been undermined by outside actors. So many countries and organizations have launched their own mediation, allowing rival generals to play them off each other. It's called forum shopping, choosing the peace talks which best suit a campaign to keep fighting for complete control of a ruined land.
The BBC's Lise Doucette. Israel's defense minister says the troops will remain in so-called security zones in the Gaza Strip, Lebanon, and Syria for an indefinite period of time. News and analysis at townhall.com. The 46th president returns to the podium to criticize his successor.
Not surprisingly, former President Joe Biden pines for the good old days.
This new administration has done so much damage and so much destruction.
On a day designated by Democrats as Social Security Day of Action, Mr. Biden mischaracterized the Trump administration's exposure of fraud within the program.
They've taken a hatchet to the Social Security Administration.
Prior to the speech, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt disputed Democrat attacks.
President Trump is absolutely certain about protecting Social Security benefits for law-abiding, tax-paying American citizens and seniors who have paid into this program.
George Williams, Washington.
Tens of thousands of Spotify users finding themselves high and dry this morning, unable to access the popular music and audio streamer. Company says it's working on the problem. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tabloid said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy middle of the week.
Ah, yes.
It's all downhill from here.
It's all
downhill from here until that quick upswing at the end of the week.
That's right.
Dude, I'm going to be a little bit burnt out from my hobby by this time, well, by yesterday next week.
Yeah?
Because I was doing it in my head. There's a 3-hour episode of SmackDown on Friday. You have 2 nights of WrestleMania on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
And then another 2.5 hours of Raw on Monday. I don't want to do this after next week.
You got a lot of wrestling.
That is a whole lot to take in.
And it all tonight with your normal Wednesday night wrestling.
I might skip tonight, honestly.
Oh, wow.
I mean, and that's I'm an AEW fan, but I might just to like clear out the reserves. Yeah. There's only so much,
Now, are these shows episodic? And like, if you miss one, are you like out of the storyline, or can you pick it up pretty easy?
You could pick it up pretty easily, especially with the build to like this big WrestleMania is the big one every year.
Yeah.
And so they start the build like 3 months early.
Okay.
So all of these feuds peaked like 4 weeks ago, and now they've just been sort of like keeping it going a little bit to get to the finish line.
And this is where something like, because I was a wrestling fan as a child in the 80s. And yes, it was very episodic in that way that you got to follow the story. Like next week, in Piper's Pit, this thing's going to happen.
Right.
And I'm sure they still do that to this day, but like by the time you see it on TV, does everybody already know it because it's already been all over the internet 50 times?
It's sort of become less appointment viewing just because, people are talking about it online and all the big moments are going to get seen. But then there's stuff that happens that's not supposed to happen.
Right.
And if you don't catch it when they play it live,
they may edit it out.
They'll cut it out. There's a great example.
Someone's pants drop or whatever happens.
There's a great example of that.
Turnbuckle thing and something happens that all.
From the build to one of the matches at this year's WrestleMania, they've been doing, it's Charlotte Flair, who's Ric Flair's daughter, and this relative newcomer, Tiffany Stratton, who's holding the belt currently. And they've been doing this back and forth promo battles for like a month now. Charlotte Flair, because she's Charlotte Flair, tends to go off script, tends to shoot on Tiffany Stratton.
She's a bit rogue.
In defense of that, during a segment a couple of weeks ago, Tiffany decided to go rogue and call out Charlotte Flair on how she's 0-3 for marriages.
Oh, no. Well, they're getting dirty. They get personal now.
Oh, it hit low blow because Charlotte was like stunned, didn't know how to respond, and basically said that Tiffany's boyfriend slid into her DMs.
Ooh.
Who then he later is like, don't bring me into this.
I hate when the reality bubbles into the work here.
So now everybody's kind of on the edge of their seat wondering, is this going to boil over into a shoot fight or something to sandbag each other? But yeah, that's one of those because WWE cut it completely out of all the replays. And I missed the moment.
And then part of me, and I think they're this good at this point, where even when you think it's a shoot, it's still a work.
Oh, yeah, the worked shoot, brother.
Like, they may be doing this, and you're thinking, oh, man, it's getting personal. But I still think they had a conversation before and said, I'm going to go there. Okay, then I'm going to go here.
just so you know, I'm gonna swing wild. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, there's definitely a lot of that worked shoot mindset.
Yeah.
But you got to be careful with that because you work and then you can work yourself into a shoot, brother.
I'm just saying.
Much love, HH.
And I'm not trying to play battles as the sexes and all this, but based on my personal experience, women hold grudges a lot longer than dudes do. Just saying.
Not to be sexist or anything, but women be catty.
They will hold a grudge in my personal experience based on what I've seen.
Yeah.
They tend to hold a grudge.
And yeah, and they have a way better memory than I do too. Like, case in point, in passing, because I knew that my kid's mom's going to be out of town this week for my daughter's IEP meeting. So in passing, I mentioned what time it was. I wrote it down. That piece of paper got thrown away. I was completely wrong. I thought it was an hour earlier than it was. She, in passing, remembered what time it was.
Nice.
Sucks to have an ironclad brain like that. That's got to be torture.
Yeah, my wife's very good. Like and this is where, like, in our relationship, like stuff like that. Yeah, my wife's always spot on. But when things get lost, that's when old Mikey boy is the Sherpa of the world. Like, and she lacks patience when things like this happen, and she gets very upset very quickly.
I understand that.
And so, I'm always and I grew up. Because I was that kid, and my mom would always, where's the last place you left it? She was always that one that just found your thing.
Yeah.
and I've inherited that gene from my mother. And I am so happy that I have it, because it's I don't know how many times my wife's going just crazy going through the house looking for something. I'm like, I literally get up, walk to one place. Yeah, it's right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't have that ability.
I do. And oh my gosh, it is. I'm like, it's so great to. It's just like, dudes, we never write. This thing gives me that ability.
This is the one time.
And it's awesome.
This is my moment. This is my time.
It's the one thing. It was a gift from my mother.
That's.
I did not have this as a child, but as I've gotten older, it is the sense has developed, or something, that the force has gotten stronger.
Yeah, my mom's mantra and mindset was always a place for everything and everything out of place.
Yeah.
So it was. There were, in general, piles of things. We knew what was in. She knew what was in most of the piles.
That's
but
my
there
mother
were piles.
to a T. She was the most organized person I knew. She, like, when she passed and we were cleaning out her house, it took weeks of crafting, just so many closets full of bags of yarn and projects once started that never finished, or I was going to do this thing with it, or like any crafter every crafter is also a hoarder. They go.
Well, you have to.
They go together like peanut butter and chocolate.
Because if you're doing like, cloisonne burlesque or whatever it is, you're bedazzling, or you have to have all the different colors that you might need for whatever project you're crafting.
Exactly. And what happens is they'll use 6 inches of yarn for one project, and then have this whole thing of yarn but they're not going to get rid of it.
I'm going to use it
one
someday.
day. There will be a price. So you know what happens with all that stuff when you die? It gets donated to a place. That's what happens.
Or thrown away.
Is basically, I took all of her crafting things and donated to a domestic violence shelter locally there, and they used it all from her furniture to her crafting supplies. We hooked them up, and they took every stitch of it. And I was very thankful for that. But boy, howdy, did she have a lot of stuff.
My mom, when she moved to the town that she lives in now, with relatively low housing costs, she bought a house outright cash, and then bought the house next door. This was my dad's basically his insurance money, but
gotcha.
The house next door, because originally it was to fix it up, but then we'll just store a couple things in there, and now it's just another house for
That's
her
the
stuff.
hoard house.
It's the hoard house, yeah. It's so bad now that she's like, I'm sure it's in that other house somewhere. I'm like, well, it doesn't exist, I guess.
I'm surprised it hasn't been offered up to other your siblings or anything.
It's not
worthy.
I don't want to move. Put it this way:
if someone put money into it, could it be nice?
Maybe, but it's Maud, Oklahoma.
Okay.
It's garbage town, and it's 97 degrees and 80% humidity.
What about one of your other siblings?
Yeah,
maybe
he can have it if he wants it.
Your brother could probably use it if is he doing better?
Little to no. Oh, he's doing great. Actually,
Good.
He's doing fantastic.
He's been an up and down kind of guy.
Oh no, he's been a downs kind of guy. But he finally picked himself up, and he's
awesome.
been in sober living for 6 months now. He's working on getting a house with a few friends from church.
If he still gets along with mom, maybe put some sweat equity in that house.
Yeah, no, it's condemned. It's wrecked. I mean, you could do something to it if you were like a craftsman or something. But yeah, there's like holes in the floor, and it's.
Then you got friends.
Yeah, but not those kind of friends.
I wasn't listening before, but
so why are you joining me?
I just wandered in here. You guys know what time the bus goes by here?
I have nothing to offer whatsoever. What are you talking about?
Well, no, because you said something about some superpower that you had. That you got from your mom. Is it just the ability to remember where you put stuff?
Find things. Not necessarily things I lost, but helping my wife find things she's lost. I'm very good at.
See, I kind of have that.
Like remote controls and phones are notoriously things she loses on a regular basis.
My kids don't ask me for help looking for things because they know I'm going to give them a lesson. Like, well, if you would just put them where they belong. We know, Dad.
Well, and there's times where, because I'm at some point, if I'm like in the middle of something, I'm like doing something, and she's like having her moment, and finally she goes, "Will you help me?" And she gives me that, and finally I do the, and then I'll walk over here, and then I sit back down and go do my thing, and that just infuriates her.
That's amazing. I'm feeling a real passive aggressive vibe.
It's my one trick pony. That's the one I got, man. I ain't got nothing else. This is all I got.
No, my problem is that I always remember where I put stuff, where I leave my stuff. My problem is when other people move my stuff.
Well, that's everybody's problem.
Because then I can't. Then it's
You're
no
not
longer
even
fine.
married.
And then you can't even remember where you put that my stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, like
wait till you get married. Oh, Artelli's ringing. That might be our guest.
Yeah, no, it gets a lot worse once you get married, and that's why I'm single.
Yeah, that's
no. What happens is she doesn't just move your stuff. She removes your stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, remember that billiard table you loved so much?
Well, I usually get a lot of, hey, where's that thing? Oh, I put it over here. Well, I put it here because that's where I remember I put it.
Mm-hmm.
And, but it's not her organization, and so
the bane of my existence is the key bowl.
Yeah.
You put a bowl next to a door. That does not mean I'm going to put my keys in that bowl. I'm going to put my keys anywhere but that bowl, partially to spite you, but also partially because I'm stubborn.
Yeah.
And that bowl's way over there now.
I have a wicker basket. I keep things like that. And then, to be honest, most of the time, I just have my coat hanging on the chair as I come in, and there's my keys and wallet already in the coat.
In the coat, yep. Just preloaded.
But now I kind of got to shift to that because I'm not going to be wearing a coat very often. Like, I still bring the coat in the mornings to wear it, but I never wear it the rest of the day, right?
I think we should normalize wearing jackets over a folded over an arm again, like back in the day.
I've been doing a lot of that.
Sport coats, just fold it over the arm and walk around like that all day. That way you got your extra pockets.
Yeah.
But,
I've been doing that a lot, to and fro from back to the vehicle after work every day.
Or fanny pack. I'm getting close to where I'm just going to say, screw it and get a fanny pack.
You know what? I'm not against it.
Yeah.
Are you going to wear it?
Most of the time, maybe.
On the hip?
If I do it, I'm going to have to do it like on the hip, probably. I don't think I could. If I do it full front, that's like buying a minivan. That's like leaning into my.
Or do you want to do bandolero style, like over the shoulder, like that way?
Yeah, no, I would. I don't think I could do it that way, just because I had a bad experience in Romania.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this before, but they told me, hide your stuff, hide your passport, hide your money, not in your pockets, because pickpocket, especially in Romania, because they're out there. So I got this. It was a chest strap, like passport holder, and it held cash and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it fit right here across my chest, and I wore it under my shirt, which is fine until you need money.
Right. And you got to
then you're like,
show everybody your
zip.
Right.
There's where all my stuff is, everybody.
Yeah. Not to mention, you're a big guy back then.
Yeah.
And
I'm a big guy now, but
you know what I mean? You got to expose everything to everybody every time you do this.
Tell me about it. I don't take my shirt off when I swim. Come on.
Hold on. I got a nickel here. Hold on. I believe our guest is here.
I believe so.
Roy is amazing at talking to himself.
Well,
not throwing that out of the realm of possibility, but yes, we're going to talk Camp Invention. Peggy Boland's going to join us here in just a bit. Give us an update, as I'm sure there's not a lot of spots left. It's only 70 this year for this year's Camp Invention. So if you have not registered your child or children, might want to get that done.
Get on it, doggone it.
Yeah. So we'll talk Camp Invention here with Peggy in just a sec. But first, your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today. We're headed for the low 90s. We have low pressure developing over in the Great Basin, and that'll be bringing us gusty wind in the next couple of days. Overnight will be clear, pretty breezy, low in the mid to upper 50s, and then we get really gusty conditions on Thursday. Wind up to 40 miles an hour. It will stay pretty hot, too. Our afternoon high in the low 90s and sunny. Little cooler and breezy on Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 63 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 54%. Winds currently out of the south at 6 miles per hour. Sunny today, 92 are expected high with south winds 5 to 10 early, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. Winds are going to pick up tonight and then taper off after midnight, but mostly clear tonight. Looking at an overnight low of 55 degrees. Winds will be out of the southwest 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. And then we'll see those winds drop down 10 to 15 after midnight tonight. Thursday, they've already issued a fire weather watch for tomorrow. That's going to kick in at 7 a.m., remaining in effect through 9 p.m. tomorrow evening. Mostly expect sunny skies and a high of 96, but areas of blowing dust for the afternoon. Southwest winds 5 to 15 early, increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour later Thursday. The winds continue into Thursday night, patchy blowing dust before 7 p.m., partly cloudy and an overnight low of 58 with southwest winds 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. Expect winds to drop down 10 to 20 after midnight. Friday, more winds, sunny and 84, but southwest winds 10 to 20 early, increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour by Friday afternoon. Friday night, mostly clear, overnight low of 47, and then for the Easter weekend, actually weather improving. There is a 20% chance of rain for Saturday for the afternoon, but sunny and 72, so a little cooler. Not much talk of wind either. And then for your Easter Sunday, sunny skies, a high of 76 expected. And then Monday when you head back to everything sunny and a high of 84. So going to get a little windy and a little warm next couple days. But then looks like for the weekend, I'm looking pretty good weather for me. So, all right, it is 9:23. Let's take a 2.5-minute break. And then Peggy will join us on the other side talking camp invention. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Have you spent a lot of time trying to whiten your teeth with no real success? Here at Carabelli Dental, we have a solution. Get that perfect smile you've always wanted with veneers. Veneer treatment is quick and minimally invasive and will provide you with a confident smile in just a couple easy steps. You deserve to love your smile, so don't let another day pass you by without calling us to start the smile design process.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455. What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
This is the time of year we can get all 4 seasons in just one day. Hi, this is Ben Manette from Roswell Seed Company. 1 minute you're sweating in the sun, and the next minute you've got slush in your shoes. But that's winter in Roswell, and after 127 years, we're starting to get used to it. It's too early to plant very much, but you can fertilize pecan trees, spray for dandelions, order your bees, and pick up a new seed catalog. So come see us at Roswell Seed. Like Jim Gill would say, enjoy the warm days, but don't go far from the fire.
The Eastern New Mexico University System is proud to present One Eastern Day, sponsored by J.P. Stone Community Bank, Thursday, May 1st, 4 to 9 p.m. on the campus of ENMU Roswell. Come join ENMU for a family fun night featuring food trucks, inflatables, space painting, info booths, and live music by Roswell's own Grupo Maldad from 7 to 9 p.m. Bring the whole family out on May 1st to ENMU Roswell and join us for One Eastern Day. Visit roswell.enmu.edu for more information. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
New Mexico small business owners, listen up. Resources are available to help you start, grow, and thrive your business. SSBCI 2.0 offers new small businesses the funding, training, and support you need to get your business off the ground. Have an established business but need additional funding and resources? SSBCI 2.0 is the place for you. Visit edd.newmexico.gov to get started. That's edd.newmexico.gov. Sponsored by this station and the NMBA.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, talking camp invention, Peggy Bolin back with us. Good morning, Peggy.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Pretty good.
Of course, last time we talked to you, you're about to go on an adventure. So you're back from said adventure.
Yes.
Yes, you got to go see Iceland.
Yes, and that was awesome.
So I've everyone, like my people I know that spent time there were there for the military, and they all loved it. So from your perspective, it sounds like it was pretty amazing.
It was great.
Yeah.
The food, the people, the tour I took, the places I saw. Oh my!
What was the climate? Because I hear Iceland is more mild than Greenland. Like
right, right. But Iceland, it was still cold.
Yeah, I imagine
March.
it is up north,
close
to the Arctic Circle.
Right,
yes.
and it rained a few of the days we were there, and they were apologetic. I'm like, I live in Roswell.
Yeah, I was like, we don't see rain. It's
we
nice.
get rain, like when it floods.
We celebrate it, unless it all comes in 1 hour.
Exactly. So yeah, it was beautiful. I went into an ice cave. I saw the Northern Lights, and just gorgeous.
What's Icelandic cuisine like? I'm not even sure.
Fish.
Yeah, a lot of fish
And lamb.
Okay. Oh, lamb. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. How do they prepare it? Like a Mediterranean? Like fish I could see, but like lamb, I'm thinking, because I think of more Middle East or more Mediterranean. So I'm kind of curious how they do their lamb.
I had it in a burger. I had lamb burger. I had lamb meatballs.
So they just all kinds of way.
They grill it.
It's like beef to them up there.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So
Interesting.
but they also have beef. They have their cows.
But it's probably cheaper to have the lamb, huh? Because there's probably more abundant of it. Yeah, beef's probably a little more expensive there.
Yeah, but oh my goodness, it was so good.
Yeah, because I was trying to think, like, what is Icelandic cuisine? But I'm guessing it's probably a little similar to some Scandinavian food, I'm guessing.
Yes.
You know, so if you eat in Sweden or Norway, probably Iceland eats similar,
Yeah, but it was
a lot of fish.
A lot of fish. I mean, it makes sense.
Ain't nothing wrong
They're
with
an
that.
island.
They got plenty of it, and it's actually quite healthy.
Yeah, in Iceland, if you could put 5 Icelands in the state of Texas.
Yeah, it's not
So
a
it's
whole
not
lot
very big.
It's like going to Hawaii. You see the whole island.
yeah, we went all the way around the island.
So what's like and we'll get to camp invention, I promise.
Okay.
But what's like as a tourist, what kind of things is it? A lot of like parks type things, or what's kind of their things for tourists to do in Iceland?
Waterfalls.
A lot of so it's a lot of the natural, seeing their parks and things like that.
Yes.
There's not like your Disney Worlds or whatever in Iceland or whatever. There's none of that kind of.
Reykjavik is their big city, and so we were
that's
able
where the
to walk
military folks go if you ever get. Usually it's an isolated tour. Yeah,
that's the only international airport. It's in Reykjavik.
Well, the whole island.
Your choice is Reykjavik.
It's not big enough for another one.
No.
But but I remember a lot of people military because it was usually an isolated tour. They couldn't go with their family, but they loved it. Like it's put it this way, people are like, I'll take it over Korea any day of the weekend. But it's kind of like living in a resort for a year. I'm guessing.
It's so nice.
That's very cool. I'm glad. So, have you vowed to return?
Yeah, probably in July.
Nice. Oh, and a little bit warmer.
Yeah, a little bit warmer.
Right.
Well, the guy said that I probably shouldn't say these times, but he said March is a great month, but also the last 2 weeks in June.
Okay.
So don't spread that around because then it's going to be too crowded the last 2 weeks in June.
And I imagine because of where they're located, they probably have long summer days.
Yes.
And in the winter, it's shorter days.
Which is why in the winter you see the northern lights.
Yeah. And I'm saying much shorter, like you know how Alaska only gets an hour or two a daylight. I don't think they're quite that bad, but it's close to that.
It's about the same as they're saying.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, the northern lights happen all year long, but you see them when it's dark skies.
Yeah.
And during the summer, you really don't see dark skies.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like I was in Germany when I was in the military and just where Germany is located on the axis there. During the summer, it does not get dark till like 11 o'clock at night there.
I know, it's
that
kind of
late.
cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so places like Iceland, it may get dark at like 2 a.m. for an hour, and then it's light by 4 a.m. again.
Right. That's why I was like, that's why I insisted on going in March. I'm like, I know it's going to be cold, but let's go.
Yeah, but so yes, you got to experience it where 2 a.m. it's still daylight out and do that. So that's got to be. Which I imagine, for the younger crowds out partying and stuff, they probably, it's a lot more, even though there's no night, a lot bigger nightlife during the summer.
Exactly.
Very cool. But we're not here to talk about Iceland, but highly recommend if you got the means and the ability, go book a trip and see it. Sounds like it's a beautiful country.
It was expensive.
Yeah.
But it was cool.
I would imagine. Yeah. But, once in a lifetime experiences is something you can't put a value on. So.
Exactly.
Which I would argue for your children, Camp Invention is definitely one of those things. It is. It's been going on for a long time. I know here in Roswell, you've been this 15 going on 20 years of this thing.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah, it's been going on forever. But this is a camp that is put on nationally by the Inventors Hall of Fame folks. The people, I think, are they the ones that back in the day the commercials were the guy with the cartoon with the caveman and the wheel. If you've got an invention, submit it to. I used to see those during the 80s all the time. I think these are the same folks.
Could be.
But anyway, they've put out this camp for years called Camp Invention, and each year, and the camp is kind of evolved where it was mostly STEM, but now it's more STEAM than STEM because they've incorporated so much more arts and things that you don't necessarily associate with STEAM or STEM, but are very much in that too, because it's really life skills as much. Like they're learning science and math and engineering, but
and technology.
Yeah, and technology. But through the 4 modules, they're also learning life skills. Like how to plan a trip on a GPS, or
teamwork.
How to plan these are skills that it's going to serve them as adults, regardless of what they do for their dreams and careers and things like that. So that's what I love about this is these kids and regardless. Now the camp is for kids entering kindergarten up through 6th grade, and all the kids do the same projects each week or each of the 4, but they do it at different levels. So the kids that are in kindergarten and 1st grade, they're getting a little more elementary learning experience there, whereas the 4th, 5th, 6th graders, they're getting a little bit more advanced version of the same thing. But if you've been to the camp before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And each year the camp is different. It's same in the model and how it's done, but different in is there's 4 brand new modules every single year. So if you started as a kindergarten and go through 6th grade, you're not going to do the same project that entire time.
Everything is different.
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah. So and it's real, and the cool thing is these are projects they get to take home and keep and
and
show their
and
families or
and
do for show and tell when they go back to school in the fall.
Well, I like doing it at the beginning of the summer so the kids have something to do during the summer instead of just being on their computer or Game Boy or whatever.
Yeah. Or when they're going on their family trip, they can bring this along too to incorporate
if it's small enough.
Absolutely. Yeah. Some projects get a little big, but most of them you can fit in the back of a car pretty easily. But and so this year we got, and again, 4 more great projects. Now, big difference between this year is you're only accepting 70 campers this
75.
year. 75 campers. They're cutting it off there. So if you're one of those folks who we're going to wait till the end of May to sign your child up for Camp Invention this year, you might be left holding the bag because they've been signing up for well over a month now, and as soon as that number hits 75, they're shutting it off. There's no more campers we can take. We're at the max capacity for camp counselors, camp materials, to make sure everyone has an ultimate camp experience. 75 is that magic number. So that's what we're doing. So,
but I'm really excited. We do have some scholarship money that I'm ready to hand it out.
That's the good news. If you now pull back the curtain, it's 200 and where's it at? My thick eyes. 290 for an entire camp experience there.
Which isn't bad. It's 9 to 3:30.
And the amount of stuff you get is
tons of stuff.
It's put it this way: if you bought if you just paid for
babysitting,
babysitting, you'd pay more than that.
Yes,
and
easily
get a third of what you're going to get with the camp.
Right.
But if that's a steep number for you, Peggy offers what's called a partial scholarship. Now, to take advantage of this, you're going to have to register different. If you don't need a scholarship help or anything like that, you can go to invent.org/camp, and then you're going to see a thing that says find a camp near you. Click that link, type in Roswell 88201, anything as a locator to us, and there'll be one camp that pops up.
Yes,
it'll be the Roswell camp.
One camp.
And you click on that and then register that way, and you can register and get your child signed up and everything else. However,
and there is a discount.
There is
until March 20th.
Okay.
So it's coming up. No, wait.
Oh, no, that's passed. We're in April now.
There is another discount.
There is another discount.
Yes,
okay, good.
$15 off.
Okay, good. And that's probably through April 20th or April 30th?
Something like that.
Okay. Go to invent.org and you'll see that offer code in there. Enter the code on that. Usually it's like fun
25.
Fun 20.
I mean, it's now Fun 15.
Fun
Sorry.
15.
Fun
Very
15.
good. That'll be
Sorry
the code.
about that.
And then enter that in. However,
I lost a month there.
Well, and that's why I looked at this. I was like, no, this one's not good. I didn't know if there's another one. But if you need a little bit bigger than that $15 discount, then call Peggy Boland direct, and I'll give you that information here in a minute. Talk to her and say, hey, I'd love to do this, but I can't afford the $290. Can you help me out here? And tell your story, talk about it. She can help you quite a bit, depending on what's going on now. to make sure everyone is invested into this, all families are asked to pay something.
Right.
Maybe it's just, a third of the price or whatever it is, but whatever that number is, they want you to, just so we make sure that you bring your child and they get to be a part of this camp every week, because we hate to cover all these costs and then you don't end up bringing your child to enjoy this. So,
right. And I've had families with 3-4 kids.
Yeah.
Reach out to me and I help.
And that's just it. I get it. Sometimes you have more than one kid.
Yeah, and some people are kind of shy about asking. Yeah, I'm like, you're calling for a reason.
I get it. You know what? I work too. But I guess what? If I have to shell $600 for camp this week, that's a lot of money for me to do.
That's like, ouch.
Yeah. So yeah, talk to Peggy. Let's help. And the reason why we can do this is because we have some very generous people that love and support what Camp Invention does,
right.
And they donate their own money. And the great thing about it is Peggy handles the who gets what and where, but the money goes to Camp Invention. It's already sitting.
Right.
The money goes into a fund that's basically sitting there, and as Peggy gets donations, it goes right to that fund. And then when we need to draw out for these scholarships, then she draws it out for the scholarships.
Right. And I don't handle any of the money.
Yeah, it's all done. You just put in the requests or whatever it is to Camp Invention.
Right. And then they take care of it. And they're in Ohio. So
but you can't do it through the website. You got to do it through
if you
Peggy.
want a scholarship. Yeah.
Now, if you don't need any more than the $15 scholarship, then go to invent.org/camp, fill out. And I highly recommend all of you go there anyway, because and we're going to explain to you the 4 modules, but there's videos showing exactly what these modules are. And so you can show your kids to get them kind of hyped for what they're going to be doing that week. So you can bring them on there and say, see, this cool thing, you're going to be making that. And this thing, you're going to be making that too. And then this thing too, and then your brother and your sister are going to make one too. And, that's, so you get to hype your kids up for the thing and do all that. But invent.org/camp, that's where you go to see all that good stuff.
Right. And it's so fun. The parents, even you, want to go to camp.
Absolutely. Exactly. I'm kind of like, I know it's a bit inappropriate, but can I sit here and make this stuff too? I won't eat too many snacks, I promise.
Yeah, really.
But so since we've teased it, talk a little bit about the 4 modules that each of the campers are going to work on this year.
Okay, so the first module is called Claw Arcade.
Okay, and this is very much like when you go into Denny's or Pizza Hut, you see the
little claw
thing where you get the clocks of the stuffed bears or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. Campers unleash nature-inspired creativity to make their own claw machines with unique prizes, then give a confidence-boosting pitch to hook investors.
Nice.
Yes.
So they get to learn a little business, a little engineering, a little science and all that too, and then have fun, trying to, fish stuff out of their own arcade.
Right. And they get to take their claw machine home.
Yeah, exactly. So they can. Yeah, this is something they take home and hopefully, I know depending on the age of your kid, might break it a week later. I wish I still had my Star Wars.
But even
choices.
if they break it, if they're learning, then they can rebuild.
Well, they can. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, these will not hold the value of the Star Wars toys you broke when you were a kid. No one's going to pay hundreds of dollars for these if you're on them.
You're probably right. Okay, the next one's called Penguin Launch. This one's cute.
Yeah.
Campers team up for an eco-expedition as they investigate Antarctica, another place I want to go, with a robotic assistant, then design launchers to propel plush penguins across snowy landscapes.
Nice. So they get to learn a little bit about, moving things and all that, but then they get to explore Antarctica and learn, about this continent, the continent, no one lives on. No one.
That's right. Except penguins.
Yeah. Only people live there. They're there for a minute to study it, and then they're,
That's right.
And I guess in this, I wonder as a civilian, can you even go to Antarctica?
Oh, yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you had to be part of a scientific group or something to go.
It's expensive.
I was about to say, it's probably for millionaire types to do it.
Yeah.
But,
that's what I'm saying. I'd like to go.
Right.
So in control, campers take the driver's seat on the ultimate road trip as they design a custom control panel and navigate their journey with help from GPS and an AI tool.
Nice. So they get to learn a little robotics there, a little bit of GPS, and of course, again, planning. Adulting skills, learning those
planning
things.
A trip.
Yeah, organizing things. How this is that part where you teach your kids. It's like, look, trips don't just happen. We don't.
That's right.
We got to plan them. Like I learned a lot of this through scouting when they were like, "You want to go on a camping trip? Oh, great. How's the food going to get there? How's the thing?" So this is a way for kids to learn. It's like, events just don't happen. You don't just show up and there's clowns and balloons and everything else. You got to plan it. You got to organize it. You got to, and this is kind of that first steps for them to learn, hey, you want to make this trip. This is what you got to do that trip. So,
right.
Pretty cool stuff. This is stuff that kids that there's not really a class per se to teach. They just, through osmosis or life, you learn these things, and now they're kind of getting it in a formal way. So it's
right,
cool.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
The last one's called Illusion Workshop. When they explore the science behind special effects, campers uncover optical illusions in movies, art, and animation before building their own moving props.
Nice. So this sounds like if you have a kid that's even in filmmaking, but even like if you got your David Blaines out there that want to learn, illusion and how they do that through media and stuff here. But, that's, I'm just saying.
Stepping stone.
Well, and I would argue based on if you watch if you watch America's Got Talent or any of these kind of shows, the magicians and stuff nowadays are doing a lot with digital and you know what I'm saying? So, so if you've got that entertainer bit in you on that side, this could, because yes, initially you think, okay, if you want to learn to make films, how do you make something look expensive very cheaply, and that's going to be a lot of that. But I would argue this also works for your David Blaines and David Copperfields of the world out there too. So, yeah.
Right.
So, but any kid that's interested in that kind of stuff, I think will love that module.
Right.
Stuff. But yeah, if you got any, those kids that love stealing your phone and start videoing and making movies and everything, this might be, you might want to make sure they get in on that module.
Right.
They show up for that day. And
they're in. So they have these modules every day.
Yeah, that's a
and they build on the first. Some people, they may not be able to make it the first day.
Gotcha.
That's fine. They can come Tuesday through
and
Friday.
Pick it up on the next
Some
day.
people, they go out of town on Friday, so they only come Monday through Thursday. That's fine too. We have been very flexible with parents.
Now,
and
that being said, if they're available the whole time, we would love to have them.
That would be best if they're available the whole time, but...
I also want to throw out there another option for folks too, because the camp runs during the week from 9 to 3, and this is going to be that first 3:30. I'm sorry, and it's that first week in June, June 2nd through June 6th, and it's back at the same location, All Saints Catholic School. Once again, it's been home there for a couple of years now.
This will be its second year.
Second year, so it's new foreseeable future home. Thank you to them for allowing it to come back once again. But that camp runs 9 to 3:30. There is for an additional fee, you can, because I get it, you've got to be at work at 7, you can't bring your kid at 9.
Correct.
Well, from 7:30 to 5:30, right?
Right, 7:30 to 5:30.
They have what's kind of an extended camp. Now, if you're only doing the 9 to 3, you're not missing anything. Right. This is just more of the same. So if you can bring them in at 8 or 7:30 or 8:30 or whatever it is, that's when you can do it. They come in, they'll work on camp projects, side projects and things, and then they'll start official camp there at 9 a.m. Same thing, camp will ramp up at 3:30, but if they're going to hang out up till 5:30, then they'll have other projects and things to keep them entertained and occupied. And yes, they might have a few extra learning opportunities there, but please don't feel like you're missing anything because you're only doing the regular 9 to 3:30.
Right, and that costs an extra $100.
Yeah, that's an extra $100 for that, and it is flexible. So so if you're like, well, I pick them up at 4:30 tomorrow, but it'll be 5 the next. Yeah, as long as it's you basically got an extended window from 7:30 to 5:30 to pick up and drop off your child.
Right, except for Friday afternoon, we don't have the extended
that's the last day
because we're
of camp.
cleaning up.
Yeah, that's the last day of camp, and when things wrap up at 3:00 Friday, everyone's going home and turning out the lights. 3:30. Sorry, everyone's turning out the lights and calling it a day.
Right.
So.
And one thing I want to mention on this form, every public school child has received at least one of these. It should have been 2 by now. 3rd is going out. So if your child or grandchild, whoever, has not brought one of these home, I can guarantee it's shoved in their desk.
One of these flyers like this.
Yeah. Yes. And so these flyers mention that, yes, the $290 before discount, if you want to put it into perspective, it's less than $9 an hour. Tell me of one babysitter who takes less than $9 an hour. They don't.
Not that are qualified or certified.
Yes. And we have 4 certified teachers that have worked with me in the past.
Yeah.
They love coming back to camp. And we've got the high school and college students who are leadership interns.
Absolutely.
So we need, if anybody
I was going to
wants
ask you, are you full on your LITs, or do you
no,
have
we
some
can.
room?
I can always get more. The
Okay.
LIs, the LITs, that's for middle school
Yeah.
students. Those entering 7th
They're
through 9th.
that's kind of they're too old for the camp, but too young to be counselors.
Right. They
So-
only cost $190.
Yeah.
So they're not as expensive.
And so they get to do all the camp things like the campers do, but they serve as like aides to the counselors. So they're going to help, run things, help, when kids have, if they need help doing something,
And they
they're
help
going
the teachers as well.
help to do that. Like if they
Mhm.
need help putting together something, they'll help them do that while the teacher is helping somebody else. Or kind of that kind
Right.
of thing.
And
Just being an assistant.
Right. And one thing we don't provide is lunch because the parents have to provide lunch, but
Mhm.
we do provide snacks.
Yeah, there's snacks throughout the day and
Right.
stuff. So,
And
but bring a
there's
bag lunch every
a
day.
lovely free T-shirt.
Yeah.
So they get a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And the amount of supplies that I get, like 30 boxes of supplies.
Well, that's just it. Yeah, the kits, because there's an obscene amount of material
Yes.
that comes with these four different modules,
Mhm.
and so there's a lot of that. So you're getting the T-shirt, you're getting the week of camp, the experience, you're getting the 4 take-home projects, and snacks every day.
Right.
$290, and by the way, constantly engaging curriculum for the entire day with your kid.
Right, and they won't have their cell phone with them. They won't
yeah.
be engaged in front of the TV.
This isn't go sit
or
under the-
is that called engaged?
Yeah.
They're not going to be couch potatoes in
This
front of
isn't
the
go
TV.
sit in the go sit in the field and go play, and we'll come get you too. It's none of that stuff.
Right. There's
it's
a supervised,
engaging stuff.
right, and there's time for lunch and time for recess, or it's kind of organized recess, I should say.
Well,
We
they
don't
got
just
they're
let
kids.
them-
They gotta burn off that energy somewhere.
Right,
now, you
right.
know?
So we go outside, and there's
Pension spans
they-
aren't always what they are.
There's a supervisor out there, and she provides games for them, and so it's constantly that they're
And that's why
moving
these
and
modules are cool. Like I said, they're doing a little bit each day, and so it's geared toward young children's attention span. You know, you get about an hour with them, and they're going to get interested in something else. And so you get an hour with them here, and then we're moving on to the next thing while they're still engaged. And so about the time they're probably ready to move on to the next thing, everyone's ready to move on to the next thing. Kind of thing. And
yeah,
so
because
that's
it's perfect.
Yeah, and so it really works out.
Flows very well.
Yeah,
and it's. I mean, so these modules were tried last year in Ohio. They
Okay.
always do it the year before to make sure
the guinea pig camp somewhere, and
Right.
they get the year ahead kind of prize.
Right. So they, iron out all the kinks and.
Which makes you think that this is such well oiled that they're years ahead picking the projects.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Because in my head I'm like, I'm thinking about next year's project. Those guys are like, no, we got like 2 years ahead. We're covered through 2030.
Right. They already know what they're going to do next year because they're trying it out this year.
Absolutely. So hence that I'm going to take a stab. That's the inventor's brain, because I feel like, we've got Formula 409. There was 408 other ones.
Yeah,
It didn't work
exactly.
before. So I feel that's part of the inventor's brain right there.
Right. So I do want to mention it is, again, at All Saints Catholic School for those kids entering kindergarten through 6th grade from June 2nd through the 6th from 9 to 3:30.
Yes.
If people want to contact me about any questions, even if it's not scholarships, if somebody wants to donate money, we're also willing to
Yeah,
take
if you're
that.
thinking, well, I don't have any kids that are old enough anymore to
Right.
do this, but I love what they do. Here's $100, or here's $50,
Right.
or here's $1,000.
Right.
Whatever
Now
it is
tell
you
them
got.
how to send it in to the right place.
And we're very thankful for that, because there's a lot of kids that cannot go to camp unless
Because
you're
of
doing
the
this kind of
finances.
stuff. But
Exactly.
because if
That's
you're
where
able
I'm
to do it.
here.
Yeah.
But they can contact me at 575-420-9955.
Yes.
Or my email is just like my first name, Peggy, pbohlin2016@gmail.com.
Very good. So, pbolin2016@gmail.com, or call her direct at 575-420-9955. If you do not get Peggy live, please leave a voicemail. She will definitely call you back as soon as she humanly possible. She does have a day job, and, she can't be by her phone 24/7.
And I really, really encourage people to call me
Please
for
do.
scholarship, because I do have the money
Don't
and
feel
I do
too
need
proud.
to spend
Don't
it.
feel like you're not
Yes.
deserving. I get it. We all work. We all got jobs. There's times where things are too expensive.
Right.
But this is something that don't make it too expensive for your kid. Doesn't have to be. If the only reason that your kid can't enjoy this camp is because $290 is too much, that's not the problem.
Right.
Call.
That's why I'm here.
Let's get that
I mean,
rectified.
I've had great-grandparents call me.
Yeah.
You know, hey, my
please
grandson needs to do something.
Don't hesitate to reach out
this summer. Right. Because it's a great camp. I mean, I wouldn't have done it this many years if I didn't believe in the camp.
Absolutely. That's just it. The proof's in the pudding. I mean,
Mhm.
there's a reason, this camp's been going on as long as it has, and will probably continue to go on for the long as we can foreseeably remember here. It's because A, it's a good camp, good product.
It is.
And B, it really does make a difference. By the way, if you have friends and family in other parts of the country, they may have one of these camps going on.
Oh,
in their
I'm sure.
thing. Go to invent.org and type in whatever, like a city near them. Maybe if you got family in Texas, there's multiple camps in Texas. You got family in Colorado, there's camps in Colorado, California, wherever.
Right.
You've got family, there's probably a camp somewhere nearby.
Yeah, I think there's only over 1,500 this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's like McDonald's. They're
Right. Right. I think there's only about 5 in New Mexico.
In New Mexico? Okay.
Not many.
And I'm going to say we're probably the lesser, like, states with one of the least amounts of camp
definitely.
invention.
Definitely.
Just because we don't have so many people.
Or people don't want to step up and be director.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and where the people are, there's probably in Albuquerque where there's already a camp.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's one.
Exactly.
You get out into Roosevelt County where population's 50. They don't have so many camps are out there. But that being said, more than likely there's probably a camp near your family members too. So if they're too far away for this camp, let them know that hey, check this camp invention out. Bobby, Sue, whoever in your family would definitely benefit from that.
Right, and I've had people come down from Ruidoso. I've had people come up from Artesia.
Yeah, but you probably
They've
get
been
some
all
over the kind of the southeast New Mexico,
Right.
probably because you're probably the closest camp to all southeast New
Right,
Mexico.
but even from Texas. I mean, we've had people from Texas because they're visiting grandma.
Yeah.
Or grandpa.
That makes sense too.
Aunt and uncle. Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming for relatives here, and so they live in Texas, but they're coming here to visit grandma. I did that myself when my grandmother lived in New York. Where I lived in Maryland, so I had to go to New York for the 2 weeks, and we did.
Right.
There wasn't no cool camp like this. It
I
was
know.
more of a.
Don't you wish?
Yeah, mine had.
Jeez.
They had some activities, but it was mostly sports and basketball and hopscotch.
Which is why I brought this here.
Yeah.
Because there are all the sports camps.
Absolutely.
But my 2 kids were geeks, and they love science, and so I brought this here.
And they want the social skill, because that's one thing I always talk about, the social side of things, and unfortunately, in the world of science and stuff, that kind of does take a back seat sometimes. You know what I mean? Because you're about the goal, the focus, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing, but it's sometimes a good reminder. Hey, no. You need the well-rounded person. You need to know the numbers, but you need to know how to talk to people at every level.
Right. And this camp is also good for homeschoolers.
Absolutely.
We've had some homeschoolers, and they loved it.
Because it's group settings, it's all social.
Right. But it's small.
And to be honest, the one thing that when people put a knock on homeschooling is that lack of this will make up for that one area where you can't always meet that need for your
Right, and it's only 1 week, so it's not as threatening as a whole school year.
And I'm going to take a stab. They're probably going to make some friends that they're going to want to hang out with and talk to and have some kind of relationship with after camp.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're lucky enough to live in your neighborhood, but they might live on the other side of town or in Texas. But who
this
knows?
is Roswell.
Exactly.
It takes 10 minutes to get there.
Exactly. And even so, now that when they get old enough and appropriate enough to have a social media page, and if it's one of the Texas kids, they can make friends on Facebook or whatever. But that's what I'm saying is that because especially when you're in group settings and you hang out with a kid all day, you tend to, by the end of the week, you're pretty good friends.
Right. Exactly.
It just happens. So.
Well, kind of like going back to Iceland. I was on a bus with my sister and 10 other people, and we
y'all know each other very well
by
the end, don't you?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And that was 6 days. So same
anytime cruise ship or anything like that, you tend to run into the same sort of people sometimes, and you just, oh, hey, how's it? Especially if you eat together at a table like you do on cruise ships.
Right. So camp invention is, well,
very much like that. Yeah, it's a social construct, just like everything else. But again, if you have a child entering kindergarten, going through 6th grade, they're going to benefit from this. This is especially, we're still messing with recovering from COVID, and kids are still catching up from that kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff you need to supplement and enrich.
Right.
Your whatever your kid's doing for education. This is the kind of add-on stuff. This is the kind of, because some of the things they're learning in school, they may learn it here, but they're going to learn in a way that they're going to retain it here. Is that that makes sense? Like, they teach them formulas and all this, but now they're saying, see what the formula does.
Right,
Look what this does here. And so whatever they're learning in school, this kind of cements the importance of what they're learning. That's what's so cool about this. So please sign your kid up. It gives, if they get boring with the number, when you show them what you can do with it, this is what, and that's why Camp Invention's so great, because it's literally saying, see this amazing thing? Science taught me this.
Right.
Math taught me this.
Exactly.
That's what's cool about it. And so every kid is going to be a scientist by the week's out. They're going to, even if that wasn't initially what they're in, I guarantee by the time they go, they're going to at least have a curiosity and an interest in it. I'm not saying they're going to be the next, scientist that invents the next widget, but they're going to have an understanding. And that's just conceptually. We don't have to grow up to be scientists, but when you see why the sun's doing what it's doing and your kid says, why is the sun doing what it's doing, you can give an answer saying, you know what I mean?
Right.
At the very least, you have an understanding of what's going on around you.
Exactly.
And that's the beauty, So whether your child becomes the next Professor so-and-so or just ends up to, being a real estate agent it's going to be great stuff that serves them the rest of their life.
Right.
That's just it. So sign your child up. And if $290 sounds like a lot of money to you, talk to Peggy. Let's see if we can help you make that a more manageable number for you.
Right.
But call her direct. Again, if you need the discounts for the bigger than the $15, call Peggy direct, 575-420-9955, or shoot her an email, the letter P, Bolin, BOHLIN, 2016 @gmail.com.
And I have scholarships, and I'm willing to spend it.
And this is why people are donating this.
Right.
This is why they want you to go to camp. They want your child to have an experience that, for whatever reason, couldn't have done
Kids from all of the schools, not just,
But don't wait, because we're capping at 70, and there's
75.
already 75. I'm sorry, and we've already had a lot of people sign up. If you wait another month, you may be on the outside looking in. Just telling you. So don't wait till closer to June to sign up for this camp. Get it done in April, because I can't guarantee May.
And you can always Google Camp Invention or invent.org and bring up the camp and just check it out.
Absolutely. Good deal. Well, thank you, Peggy.
All right, thank you.
And welcome back to Iceland. And I'm sorry, not as nice here as it is there.
I had Mexican food the other day. It was
so you got
amazing.
Your fix.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, 9:59. Quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team provides physical, occupational, and speech therapy to help you regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736-8174 today to schedule an appointment and get back to living life to the fullest.
Upside down? Time to turn it around. The Upside Down and Payoff Sales event is on now at Roswell Honda. Now through Easter weekend, Roswell Honda needs your trade, and they'll do whatever it takes to get it. If they make a deal, they'll pay.
106.